सरस्वती गोपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की मथुरापुरी धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की श्री नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की गंगा मैया की यमुना मैया की भक्ति देवी की श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा वृंदावन चंद्र की श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्र मैया की श्री श्री गौर निताय की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्भागवतम की श्री ध्रुव महाराज की श्री नारद मुनि की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutali Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamine Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. If you close all the doors, windows, how will Dhruva Maharaj go in his plane? Plane will get stuck, na? So Niti Mataji also has to go. So welcome to our continuation on discussion as a part of your Bhakti Vaibhav. The last chapter remaining, that is the 12th chapter. Yesterday we discussed 11th. Any recollection of yesterday's discussion outside the purports? Narayanastra. So we have been given Chaitanyastra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Any other? Yes. Any other? Sadhu, Titikshava, Karunika, Suhrudha Sarvadena. So Titikshava comes. Here also it came, no? Titikshaya or some word was there. So one should be very tolerant. To the degree we are tolerant, to that degree we are humble. If you have any kind of pride, then we think, who is this fellow? How can he do like this? I cannot keep quiet. I will give him a thrashing. Means not physical, maybe verbal. That intolerance shows our lack of humility. So humility means one should be extremely tolerant. I think Jesus Christ I quoted. No, I did not quote you. How many times one should be forgiven? 7 times? 7 times? 70 times. Millions of times. Every time you have to forgive. Yes. Any other? If there is envy in the heart, then the anger will be disproportionate. If the envy is not there, Guru is correcting disciple, that will not be disproportionate anger. Correct. Good. Any other? Temporary madness. Correct. As long as we are angry, till then we are mad. When your anger is over, you are out of madness. Then you are normal. Yes. Correct. Achha, that was your point, or? No, okay, take it. Then you tell your. Srutena?
Control our anger.
If we are?
If you are hearing spiritual subject matter, then we can control anger. You explained it further also.
Yes. You have not done. Where are you? You did not give me association. Eno Prabhu Kothana Aila. Miss. Okay.
Where we always, due to ego, we compare with others. We're giving example of somebody having posts, like you're getting president of small center and manager of big temple. President of somebody is like temple president of small center and manager of big temple. So there is always tendency of thinking who are our friends at the level of position and other things. But you are telling that we can have friendship with any devotee, like you are giving example.
We can have friendship with
Every devotee. Give example of Survi Mataji. Although Mataji is very elderly, but still, when people meet her, they appreciate her. So,
yes.
So that irrespective of age difference, continuation with all devotees.
Okay. So we'll proceed. In case you have some point, then you can tell. Otherwise, 52 verses are in line. Yes. But this just doesn't have so much. But still, it will take 3 hours.
One point where you told that Paramatma doesn't purify the heart. It only gives Smriti, Rapohanam and Jnanam. But Krishna purifies the heart. Srinivatam Svapatach.
Yes, correct. Very nice. You captured very nice point. So allow Krishna to enter in your heart through the medium of ears. Keep hearing. Not outside thing. Keep hearing Krishna Katha. Any other? One should be eager to get rid of envy in his heart. We are many times very eager. And that, in fact, that is our preacher hood, or whatever you call that. The hood of a preacher, the head of a preacher. Our preacher hood is, it is out of envy many times. He, my equal, he got 5 counsels and I have only 2.5. One is below 18. He's major. He's not major, he's minor. And he has got 5. So I also have to do propaganda. Let me go out of NVCC, preach in where? Madhya Pradesh. No, it's all over India. You are all having small areas. I have entire India for me. And when my false ego will increase, then I'll go all over world also. So why is this? So rather than trying to get rid of envy, our preaching is exhibition of our envy. And viewers, how many my viewers? He has got 10,000 viewers. I have only 10 viewers. Like that. So why it is like this? Why is it like this? Let me do something. Let me tell Madhu Kiran Prabhu. Do advertising of my whatever glories. Like that. Yes. Any other? Okay.
Wars are taking place in the different countries. So basically observing Krishna consciousness so that we become oblivious of this.
Not exactly oblivious in the sense that you should not know only. You will get to know here and then you know. It's a reconfirmed thing. Dukhalem Ashashvatam. It's a horrible place and because of envy people are fighting. So we pray. Intensity is in our own prayers, in our own spiritual life. That, oh Lord, let me be able to help Srila Prabhupada in not exactly stopping these wars, but at least stopping the envy that people have. But there should not be keen interest outside the spiritual life. Oh, what is happening? Oh, really? Israel is Israel and it's in misery. So what is that? How many got killed? That kind of things is not required. Okay. So we'll go ahead. Start with the last chapter. This is 12th chapter for this module or whatever. Dhruva Maharaj goes back to Godhead. So be prepared for send off. Are you ready? Are you ready? Haribol. Are you not? You are not ready. You want Dhruva Maharaj to be with us only. So Suniti Devi is going. He also will go. He will not stop for you. You have to go behind him to Dhruva Lok. So first 9 verses are about Kuvera offers instructions and benedictions to Dhruva Maharaj. Yesterday we saw that how when he was going on killing yakshas, then Swayambhu Manu appeared and he gave something he spoke. Thus Swayambhu Manu, after giving instruction to Dhruva Maharaj, his grandson, received respectful obeisances from him. Then Lord Manu and the great sages went back to their respective homes. So after Swayambhu Manu left, then Kuvera, he says something. So Maitreya uvacha dhruvam nivrittam pratibudhya vaishasad apetamanyum bhagavan dhaneshwarah tatragatascarana yaksha kinnaraihi samstuyamano nyavadat krutanjalim. The great sage Maitreya said, My dear Vidura, Dhruva Maharaj's anger subsided and he completely ceased killing yakshas. When Kuvera, the most blessed master of the treasury, learned this news, he appeared before Dhruva. While being worshipped by yakshas, kinnaras and charanas, he spoke to Dhruva Maharaj, who stood before him with folded hands. So Chakravarti says the 12th chapter describes how Dhruva received benedictions from Kuvera. This we are saying in 9 slokas. Returned to his own city, worshipped the Lord through sacrifices, and renouncing everything, attained the abode of the Lord in the same body. This Dhruvatila is not Dhruvatila. Dhruva's palace is still there in Kanpur if you go. It's Bittur, around 15 kilometers from our ISKCON temple, which is on Mainavati road. So from there if you go, it's a very nice place. Ganges is also there, which he crossed and eventually went to Vrindavan, Madhuvan. So that place is there. Kind of some structure is also there. So that is being described here. Second verse. Dhanada uvacha bho kshatriya dayad parituštosmite anagha yatvam pitamahadeshad vairam dustyajamatyajaha. The master of the treasury, Kuvera, said, O sinless son of a Kshatriya, I am very glad to know that under the instruction of your grandfather, you have given up your enmity, although it is very difficult to avoid. I am very pleased with you. So likewise, we also should know, whenever we give up our enmity, arising from envy, with anyone, it is very pleasing to our superiors. Superiors beforehand only have instructed us not to have envy at all. Like Amoga's story, how he became envious of Lord and he wanted to see some faults. So when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, his father-in-law, had invited Mahaprabhu for prasadam, he cooked a huge feast. He was personally feeding also, serving also. But in between, to replenish the preparation, when he went inside, that time Amoga took the opportunity, came in and started blaspheming. What a sannyasi! Is this the way? So much he eats and such opulent foodstuff. He right away started blaspheming. Hearing the noisy thing, immediately Sarva Bhattacharya came out and he was wondering what is nonsense. Then he kept the foodstuffs down, the vessels, and he was looking. Then he found there was a stick there. He picked up and wanted to beat him. But then he ran away because he was a young man. Sarva Bhattacharya was old. He came, Sarva Bhattacharya came saying, what nonsense, this rascal. Meanwhile, his wife came from kitchen who was cooking she was cooking inside. And she came to know, however, some son-in-law has blasphemed Mahaprabhu. She said, let Shati, our daughter, become a widow. That means let this fellow die. How can our so-called relative, my daughter's husband, be against the Lord? Better she be not having this asatsanga, such a non-devotee husband. Better not have husband only. So then Sarva Bhattacharya pacified, this Mahaprabhu pacified Sarva Bhattacharya. You be peaceful, don't take tension. So anyway, within few days only, this Amog got cholera disease. He lost weight, he was terribly sick, and he was lying on the bed, more or less on the deathbed only. Hearing the news, Sarva Bhattacharya was very happy, let that fellow die. But Mahaprabhu, when he came to know, he at once went to his house, saw him in that pitiable condition, kept hand on his heart and said, Oh Amoga, why do you keep this envy in your heart? This is not good. Your heart, Brahmana's heart, is meant for carrying Krishna there. Why are you carrying envy there? Give up, give it up. So he had to give up envy because he has to otherwise give up his body. So he learnt his lesson in a wrong way or in a hard way. But he understood and he gave up the envy and then he got cured. Mahaprabhu accepted him. So our superiors have already instructed us not to go on with our envy. Otherwise it will perpetuate our reputation of birth and death. But otherwise also sometimes when we fight with some devotee, then if superior comes to know, he calls us, he will again tell us, please do not fight. Why are you? He is immature, or you be at least mature in case that is the case. Or even if he is mature or whatever he is, let him have it. Let go and live freely. We don't let go. We are holding on to some particular post, position. So that is sign of envy. And then he says, please give up. Just like Prithu Maharaj case, classic case we know. How Brahmaji said, forget it. He is an immature fellow, Indra. Let him have the glory of being Shatakratu, one who has performed 100 Ashwamedh Yagyas. You don't want fame. You just want it for welfare of the citizen. So that is done by 99 only. And by doing 99 this Yagyas, Ashwamedh Yagyas, you will be more famous than Indra who has done 100 Yagyas. Anyway, Prithu was never for fame, but he understood Brahmaji does not want me to go on. He immediately stopped it like that. So we should also give up envy. Every time you give up envy, you will be pleasing your superiors, and by that you will make advancement. So one should. And that is the easy way also of giving up envy, for the pleasure of my superiors. Otherwise, if that pleasure is not kept in the center, then impossible. Forget it. You cannot give up your envy. Envy will increase. Envy will increase. But when we, as yesterday I said, quoting His Holiness Radha Swamiraj, Krishna consciousness means to take oneself out of center and to put Krishna there. To put Krishna there means to put Guru there. To put Guru there means to put superior Vaishnavas there. And they all want us to give up our envy. How many of you experienced that your envy was like, not allowing you to let go? I will not ask the details, but you know. So it is very deep rooted, and this is last thing to go. First thing to come and last thing to go out of our heart. All other things can be easily given up also, like lust, pride, greed, anger and illusion. These are very easy. So lust, how to give up? By working very hard for Krishna. Kama Krishna Karma Arpani. In Shri Prem Bhakti Chandrika, Narottam Das Thakur Mahasaya guides us. Then yesterday we discussed Krodh, Bhakta Dveshi Jane. Those who are envious of Krishna and Vaishnavas become angry on them. in a proper way as per time, place. We should know also what does it mean. And then lobha sadhu sange harikatha. The greed for earning money and our increasing our fame can be reduced, removed, evaporated. Just in the association of sadhus, you keep hearing Krishna Katha. When we hear Krishna's glories, then we will not want to have a lot of money and show to others how glorious I am. And then moha, ishta labha vinay. Illusion can be removed by becoming mad by not having Krishna in life or not being able to achieve Krishna. Just like somebody, oh, my son died, how can I survive? So I have not got Krishna. Shunyaitam jagat sarvam Govinda virahena me. How can I live without Govinda? So that kind of aspiration, that kind of longing, that kind of spiritual illusion will get one out of material illusion. And then which remain? Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Mada. Mada Krishna Gunagani. The pride. In pride we tell our glories. You know what I did yesterday or 10 years back. But glorify Krishna. Krishna Gunagani. Krishna's qualities. So that way your pride will go away. Krishna is so glorious. Krishna is so glorious. And myself, no, I am just trying to be Krishna conscious. Otherwise, if you don't glorify Krishna, you will glorify yourself only. Bound to happen. Glorification is must. If we don't glorify Krishna, we will glorify ourselves. How many of you have found that? Yes. That's why we should be always engaged in preaching activities. Any kind of preaching activity, we are glorifying. Harinam Sankirtan directly Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So directly glorifying Radha and Krishna. Not that, otherwise, we cannot sing there our own glories. I cannot say Sundar Sham Prabhu ki chai, Sundar Sham Prabhu ki chai. People will slap me. It's first our Sankirtan party only will purify me there on the street. And then the outside people also, they also understand Krishna should be glorified. So that is how it is. So one should be very engaged. Our book distribution, so many glories of Krishna are told in the book. Now you cannot speak everything. You speak few things there. So in this book, this is told, that is told. Basically, it's all glories of Krishna only that are told. So you give him the book and he keeps reading it, and you also that way keep glorifying. Or you give prasad to others. So it is the Uchchista of the Lord, not our own Uchchista. Like that, any preaching activity you do, you are glorifying Krishna. And to the degree we reduce this, or we don't get engaged in this preaching activities, finished. You will start doing your own propaganda. How glorious I am, see me, see my beauty. Because of me, it happened, that happened. So very dangerous. So that's why 24 hours ideally, we should be engaged in preaching activities. As I said, preaching activities, any kind of, basically preaching is very simple. Getting a person closer to Krishna. How you get him closer, that intelligence Krishna will give you as per your sincerity. And Krishna will give you that, By giving prasad also, you can bring somebody closer to Krishna. Simplest way. Everybody can distribute prasad. Even at the food for life stall outside, you just distribute prasad there. Everybody knows it is Krishna prasad, Krishna prasad, Krishna prasad. So he comes closer to Krishna. He will tell after going home in his neighborhood, there I was leaving temple and one devotee called me and gave me Krishna prasad. He was really distributing. And he gave me one more drona also. So simple. Preaching is very simple. Anybody can do, child can also do. And we should be engaged in any of these preaching activities. Like we saw Maharaj, becoming Guru means taking the Jiva back to Godhead. We are not having that potency. But we can bring a Jiva closer to Krishna somehow by giving prasad, then eventually Japmala, 16 rounder. And then we can connect him to some bona fide Guru who will take him back to Godhead, and our contribution is very much appreciated by the Lord. So all these 5, lust, pride, greed, anger and illusion can be engaged, but not the envy. Envy has to be given up. And that is not so easy to give up. First in, last out. But if we have some illusion, moha ishta labha vinay. Just like a man who is in love with a girl called Kalpana. Kalpana, tumhare bina main jeene ki kalpana hi nahi kar sakta. So this is called an illusion. Just like Bharat Maharaj's classic example. The deer, he got so much illusioned by that attachment to deer that, oh, my dear deer, you are like a prince. Where have you gone? Oh, my dear tree, did you see? Oh, my dear deer, did you see? My dear, oh, my dear moon. He is talking to moon. My prince, he was also walking on the surface of the earth. Where is he gone? So much is illusion. He's gone crazy. So like that one goes crazy in illusion, material illusion. So likewise we should have attachment to Krishna and we should feel Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahename. I just can't survive without Krishna. Mahaprabhu has shown that. You can read Ante Lila, last few chapters. How Mahaprabhu, that is basically Radharani, in separation from Krishna, completely getting illusion. This is spiritual illusion. This is nice. This is required. Without this spiritual illusion, we will be overpowered by material illusion. Oh, I want iPhone. I have my phone, but I want iPhone. Jina to kya jina? iPhone ki bina. Like how can I survive without iPhone? There is a lot of grace for that also. One thing is the whole world is rotating around smartphone, but in that also, center of all the smartphones is iPhone. Ultimately, I want to achieve iPhone with the latest model, 16 Pro or whatever it is. So, this is how illusion takes over. So one should have spiritual illusion. Okay, there are no purport here, but I have a very long purport, kind of summarizing all the future purports. So he is very glad. See, Kuber is pleased. Dhanada, very nice name he has. Kuber is there, that is also post, but another equivalent word for his post is Dhanada, the giver of wealth. I am very pleased with you, he says. Na bhavan avadhidyakshan na bhavan avadhidyakshan na yaksha bhrataram tava kala eva hi bhutanam prabhur apyaya bhavayoho. Actually, you have not killed the yakshas, nor have they killed your brother. For the ultimate cause of generation and annihilation is the eternal time feature of the Supreme Lord. According to one's karma, somebody is supposed to die at that time. So then somebody, other person will be inspired. He is already eager to kill someone. So then he finds that fellow only, because his time for death has come. So he will only exactly come and he will kill him by any means and done. But now because this fellow took the law in his hand, so he also got implicated in the laws of nature, like that. But the person who died, in one sense, he had to die. He was supposed to die. Anyhow, he would have died only. That doesn't give permission, liberty, to keep killing others, saying that, oh, that was his karma. I was inspired by the divine something within. That was the case with that Ramaya or somebody, Raman. In Bombay, there was a case. That fellow became mad or something. And people, on footpath, people were sleeping, poor people. He took a stone and hit them all and killed them. And when it became court case, then he said, it's like, from God from within gave me inspiration to kill them. He did not have, in one sense, personal enmity with them. So the judge was wondering what to do now. Should he be hanged or not? Complicated case. Fourth one. Aham tvamitya partha dhira jnanat purushasya hi ajnanat purushasya hi swapni va bhatya tadhadyad yaya bandha viparyayo. English is very easy to read, but Sanskrit splitting may go wrong. Misidentification of oneself and others as I and you on the basis of the bodily concept of life is a product of ignorance. This bodily concept is the cause of repeated birth and death, and it makes us go on continuously in material existence. Yesterday we quoted that, what is that? Ayam nijo paro vetti gadana lagu chetasam udara charitanam tu vasudhaiva kutumbakam. So because of small-mindedness, basically bodily concept of life. Bodily concept of life makes us narrow-minded, and our true knowledge, spiritual understanding makes us very broad-minded. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakrutim ashrita. So such a person who has taken shelter of internal potency of the Lord, bhajanti ananya manaso, he worships the Lord with undivided attention. Yatvamam bhuttatimavayam, knowing me to be the original and inexhaustible. But this does not exclude the jivas who are children of Krishna. Not that he is Mahatma, he is with undivided attention, he is worshipping the Lord and he hates all the living entities. No. He sees all living entities are Krishna's children. I quoted 4.35. So Krishna said, they are mine. They are my parts and parcels. So they belong to me. They are my children. So one sees them all in connection with Krishna, and thus he is very broad-minded. He never neglects any living entity. He knows they are all children of Krishna. Because I love Krishna and Krishna loves them, obviously I love them also. A loves B, B loves C, so he has to love C also. You love your boss, boss loves his son, so you have to love his son also. If you say hell with this child and you slap him, boss will be very angry. And you may say, but that was outside the college or this company. You say, no, what nonsense, what outside of company. For me, my son is everything. And you slapped him, he will be very angry. So we should not be narrow-minded, small-minded by excluding the jivas from Krishna. This Nameruchi, Vaishnava Seva, Jivadaya, all three are one thing only. What is it? Krishna Prem. How much you have developed love for Krishna can be seen in Nameruchi, Vaishnava Seva and Jivadaya. When it comes to holy name, as much as taste you have, that much Krishna Prem you have. When it comes to other Vaishnavas, as much as you are eager to serve them and you render service, to that degree you have love for Krishna. And as when it comes to other jivas, how much you are compassionate to them, that much you have Krishna Prem. It's all three same only. But exhibition is based on who is in front. When holy name Krishna is in front, you have test. When Vaishnavas are in front of you, you are their servant, you want to serve them. When jivas are in front of you, then you are compassionate. You give them prasad, you talk to them nicely, tell Hare Krishna, something. As per children are there, okay, Hare Krishna, or prasad, like that. Some very elderly man, scholarly person, so you can preach to him, he can understand philosophy also. So all three are nothing but Krishna Prem. Many times in the morning we say, na, it is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must carefully guard against all these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prem. Many times it's a vague idea only, Krishna Prem. What is it? I don't have Krishna Prem. Yeah, that is good to think like that. But it is very simple. These three things are nothing but Krishna Prem only. So have test for chanting. How much can you chant in a day? How much can you serve Vaishnavas in a day? How much you can be compassionate to the other living entities, despite their frailties, their mistakes, their mistreatment to yourself. That's why preaching is very good. When you go out, people say, hey, rascal, why are you coming here? Get lost. Yeah. Say or not. They will say or not. They will say. Many may not say in India, but somebody will say. Because Krishna wants to test you also. How much Krishna Prem you have developed. Morning you very loudly said, success, Krishna Prem. But daytime you reveal no Krishna Prem or hardly any Krishna Prem. So it's very easy to understand how much Krishna Prem I have developed. Through any of these three things. All three are, it's all proportional. So that's why our preaching also, if you have great zeal for preaching, that means you have a lot of compassion for jivas, and you don't have taste for holy name, no, there is a flaw there. Maybe you are preaching your own false ego. Because while chanting holy name, you are miserable. And similarly, when Vaishnavas come, you are so offensive to them. What nonsense this fellow? इसको तो आँख ही नोच लूँगा मैं, हर बार घूरता है मुझे. घूरता क्या है? आपको किसने बताया कि घूरता है? Who told you that he is staring at you? But our own false ego, frustrated false ego. In ignorance we have frustrated false ego. In passion we have inflated false ego. Both are false ego only. So we are frustrated. What nonsense here, this is not good. So this is your false ego, which is frustrated. And some other time, I got this. This is inflated false ego. This is again false ego. If you have true ego, by the grace of the Lord, I was blessed to be able to render this service, to distribute books, to bring these souls to Krishna's lotus feet, or whatever, n number of things, successes, so-called successes. And as far as failures, I'm such a culprit rascal. Failure was bound to happen. But surprisingly, Krishna uses this rascal also. He doesn't kick me out. That is Krishna's mercy, Guru's mercy, Vaishnava's mercy. I'm so blessed, surrounded by such compassionate Vaishnavas. Like that. So spiritual life is very deep, very easy, but very deep. As Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness is very easy. Process is very simple. Application is very difficult. What? It's very simple. Chant. Chanting is the end all and be all. Taramadde sarvasreshta nama sankirtan niraparada namalai lay pabe premadan. What you have to do? Like if let's say spiritual practice means, spiritual perfection means, all of us have to jump from all these windows, and after reaching on the ground, wherever you land, from there you run to the terrace of that guest house, Kamal Nayan Bajaj guest house, and from there you jump from terrace. And as you land on the ground, then you jump, we run, and then you go to temple hall top terrace, and from there you jump. If this was the perfection in your spiritual practice, how many of us would reach perfection? First, I will be reaching crematorium. First, from here only you jump, end of the whole thing. So how difficult process, isn't it? If this is the spiritual practice, yes or not? Jumping from all these buildings. And then once you are done with these 3 buildings, then you have to go to skyscraper, and then eventually Barsana. And then the ultimatum is from Gagan Unnati. From there you have to jump. I think nobody will be able to reach Gagan Unnati. He will be able to reach Bhumigat Sthiti. Not Gagan Unnati, Bhumigat Sthiti. Like that. So it is so easy. Chant Hare Krishna. What is it? Tongue. For us as human being, our tongue can always vibrate. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. But we all know how it becomes difficult. पानी पी लेता हूँ. पानी पीने के बाद भी गला सूखा ही हुआ है. इतना तो पिया पानी. गला क्यों सूखा? गला नहीं, मेरा हृदय ही सूखा है. Heart is not ready for Krishna. Krishna is dry. No, Krishna is not dry. What something is dry? I don't know what is dry. So you see, process is very simple, but we make it highly complex because we are engineers, no? Technicians. So technicians use all techniques to make it highly complex. Are engineers famous for making very simple machines or very complicated machines? Very complicated machines. So I have to prove that I am Kshudra, a technician, an engineer, and I'll make the whole Krishna conscious simple process so complex that I myself will be miserable while practicing this Krishna consciousness. And I'll propagate also to others. Arey, it's very horrible. मेरा जीवन बर्बाद हो गया और तेरा भी जीवन बर्बाद करके ही छोड़ूंगा, तभी मजा आएगा. नहीं तो क्या चैंटिंग में तो मजा है नहीं. So, हाँ, इसलिए प्रीचिंग करना है. इसको ब्रह्मचारी बनाना है. I became miserable by becoming ब्रह्मचारी, तो इसका भी जीवन बर्बाद करके इसको ब्रह्मचारी बना के इसको सुपर बर्बाद कर दूंगा मैं, तभी कुछ मजा आएगा. नहीं तो क्या ऐसे चैंटिंग में मजा नहीं, ये वैष्णव की सेवा में मजा नहीं. वैष्णव के पाँव खींचने में बहुत मजा आता है. That who, I am a Chinese, who, Mr. Who. One who was not enough. They have other names. Chinese have names. Mr. Ha, Mr. Who, Mr. Hey, or whatever that is. Only one alphabet kind of. So one should not be like that. One should truly enjoy spiritual life. But if we get rid of false ego, then it is very enjoyable. It will come ahead also. So misidentification of oneself as and others as and you, bodily concept of life. So he says, one devotee said, when common interest takes priority, our bodily concept goes in the background. Common interest. So all our acharyas, their common interest is, let all jivas get this Krishna Bhakti. So for that common interest when we are working for, then your own bodily conception, it will evaporate. Not even any trace of that will be visible to anyone, including you yourself. So one should take wholehearted participation in this preaching moment. Then bodily concept of life will go away. In purport, Prabhupada says the conception of I and you, aham tvam, as separate from each other is due to our forgetfulness of our eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Person Krishna is the central point, and all of us are his parts and parcels, just as hands and legs are parts and parcels of the whole body. When we actually come to this understanding of being eternally related to the Supreme Lord, this distinction, which is based on the bodily concept of life, cannot exist. The same example can be cited here with the hand is the hand and the leg is the leg, but when both of them engage in the service of the whole body, there is no such distinction as hands and legs, for all of them belong to the whole body. We don't differentiate in our own body. Any prasadam we go, so forget about that stomach. We walk, so legs undergo some trouble, and by that hunger may also increase. And then we go and we take prasadam in the plate, and we put it inside. So all senses are cooperatively engaged. No, there is no conflict only in any of the senses. But unfortunately, in life we have a big conflict because we don't work for Krishna's interest, Guru's interest. And then bodily concept of life takes over, and then so much I and you, this only predominates, and so many fights then. Ahead, towards the end, he says, as soon as the living entity thinks that he is independent, his conditional material existence begins. So Prabhupada on the Juhu beach, when he was going for morning walk, and he found the stray dogs there, then he said, just see how miserable these stray dogs are. Anytime anybody will pick up some stone or stick and beat them like anything. Or if not, Indians also kick dogs. How many of you seen dog getting kicked? Some people are fearless. The dog will bite, that fear is not there. This fellow is only going to bite the dog. He's Maha dog. So like that, big dog. But then there were, on the beach only, there were very rich millionaires in Bombay. So they were having their own pet dog with a belt around and tied with a chain or rope. Prabhupada said, just see, how fortunate. And then that famous sloka of who? Prabodhanand Saraswati, Sanath and Anath. Stray dog is Anath, orphan. Whereas this rich man's dog is Sanath. He has got master. Sanath Jivitam. I'm so fortunate I got a master. Actually, every dog is looking for some master. And when they get such a master, they feel so happy. And they show the high degree of loyalty. To the degree they find the master is so loving, to that degree they express loyalty. The dog of Shivaji Maharaj on Raigad Fort, if you go, Raigad or Rajgad. So then when Shivaji Maharaj left his body, when his body was cremated, funeral pyre, when they set the fire, the dog felt so much separation from him, he jumped in the fire. Master, how can my master go? So he jumped. So there is a samadhi of that dog also on the top of Raigad or Rajgad fort. Vaghya, his name. His samadhi is there separately. So we should also be dying for that common cause, for that common interest. Otherwise, to the degree we are keeping our identity separate from that common interest, to that degree our bodily concept of life will overpower us, and envy will come, lust will come, all anarthas will ensue. Envy is there, lust will come, greed will come, pride will come, illusion will come, everything will come. All the five, lust, pride, greed, anger, illusion, you put them all together, make a ball. What that ball is called as envy. All five put together. So when envy is there, lust will develop. When it comes to opposite sex, it will be lust. Then when it comes to money, then it will be exhibited as greed. Likewise, it will be exhibited. So one must get rid of these lower natures. In Chakravartipad's commentary, he says, from ignorance, from absorption in the body, man's intelligence, thinking of I and mine like a dreamer, by which bondage and suffering arise, becomes useless. Intelligence becomes useless. And he says, atadhyanat means from thinking only of the body. From this arises samsara, bandha, and the opposite of the jiva's knowledge and bliss, ignorance and suffering. So bodily concept of life is condemned like anything. So one should not be in the bodily concept. We have to all get rid of it. Struggle is there, But it becomes easy if we just take ourselves out of center and put Hari, Guru or Vaishnavas there. Fifth one. Tadgacha dhruva bhadram te bhagavantam adhokshajam sarvabhutatma bhavena sarvabhutatma vigraham. My dear Dhruva, come forward. Who is saying? Kubera. May the Lord always grace you with good fortune. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond our sensory perception, is the supersoul of all living entities, and thus all entities are one, without distinction. Begin therefore to render service unto the transcendental form of the Lord, who is the ultimate shelter of all living entities. So this is not like Mayavadi, no? All living entities are one only. So that is supreme, highest offense to Lord and His parts and parcels also. This is highest in terms of full knowledge. So full knowledge is all living entities are one, and full ignorance is all living entities are one. Understand? Full ignorance is Mayavadi knowledge, in which one thing all are one only, one with the Supreme. And this side, pure spiritual, all are one, all are Krishna children. They are all one in quality, Satchidananda. Just because of their karma or whatever, they are in different bodies. So why to be hateful towards some jivas, and why to be pampering other jivas? Why can't you see on the soul plane and treat them all equally like that? Sixth one. Bhajasva bhajaniyangrim abhavaya bhavashidam yuktam virahitam shaktya gunamayyatma mayaya. Engage yourself fully, therefore, in the devotional service of the Lord, for only He can deliver us from this entanglement of materialistic existence. Although the Lord is attached to His material potency, He is aloof from her activities. Everything in this material world is happening by the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna says, Bhinna me prakritir ashtada. These are all my separated energy, this material energy. So Prabhupada gave example, like one lady, he told, you may be very beautiful, but your stool is not beautiful. So stool is our separated energy. It separates from body. And then we are not attached to it. It came from our body only, but it is separated. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada in purport says, devotional service cannot be rendered to the impersonal Brahman feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because service means two people have to be there, one master and one servant. But in impersonalism, one thinks oneself one with the master. So devotional service cannot exist only. That is the foolishness of impersonalism. So Chakravarti Pad says, so he joined to Maya Yuktam because she is his Shakti, but detached from her Virahitam because she is not his Swarupa Shakti. That is Antaranga Shakti, made up of Sandhini, Samvit, Ladini. So it's separated. That's why it's detached. Here the message is engage in the devotional service to the Lord. So the Jiva is in between, marginal energy, Tatastha Shakti. So he has the right, he has the choice, either to be in external potency or internal potency. When he is engaged in, entrapped by the material energy on the basis of his desire to lord it over the material nature, then he gets stuck. This situation is called Yuktam. For devotee, the Lord is present even in the material energy. Lord is there. If you see Lord Garbhodaksha Vishnu lies on Anantashesh, from his navel comes that stem and lotus, and on that Brahma is born. So it's not like somebody externally inserted the stem in the navel of Lord Garbhodaksha Vishnu. It is part of his body only. That's why Sarvam Khalu Idam Brahma. Everything is spiritual. It's a, and within that all planetary systems are there. So it's all spiritual only. Nothing is material for that matter. So the devotee can have that vision. The Pruthak Bhav is there, separatist mentality. Bhakti in three modes, whether goodness, passion or eros. Lord Kapila says to devotee, you might have studied earlier. So everywhere the word is the same, Pruthak Bhav or Pruthak Drishti, but Pruthak only. Separatist mentality. He just can't see only the oneness there, how it is all connected to Krishna. It's all Krishna's energies only. So that is not. Whether jivas or the ingredients, the things, or the people, personalities, the living entity, they are all connected to the Lord only. But that vision is not there because of ignorance. Separatist mentality continues. So one should not continue with that separatist mentality. One should be able to see how they are all. That's why then that Manav Seva can be in a true sense. Because Madhav Seva, you understand, they are all children of Krishna and I have to connect them to Krishna. Otherwise you don't know anything about God, Madhav, and you are only engaged in the bodies of the people. Then only service is rendered to body, at best to subtle body. Mind, intelligence, false ego. And there is no service rendered to soul, of which the person is not aware only. So then it doesn't become really Manav Seva. It becomes Apa Seva. Just like social welfare workers. They are the worst people in one sense. Why? Because they say, hey, don't worry about God. What God gave, we gave. You worship us. Like that. You know that in communists and all, they would go outside churches when people would come out. So you prayed? Yes. Prayed to whom? God. What did you pray? Give us our daily bread. Did he give you anything? No, nothing. Now you pray to us. Okay, communists, please give us bread. Immediately they have a truckload of, take this. It's all for you, as much as you want. So who is better? Your God, whom you prayed so long and got nothing, or us, you prayed once and you got? You are better. These kind of foolish people also, they don't understand who gave the communists the bread. They did not produce from their body. They used the material ingredients, and material nature itself, herself only comes from the Supreme Lord. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that the pujari in temple who is ringing bell, his ringing bell is superior to millions of welfare workers put together. Don't quote this outside. People will not accept it. They may beat you like anything. What nonsense you are speaking. Yeah, because that fellow takes one away from Krishna. Whereas this fellow, while ringing the bell, it is in assistance with an item being offered, whatever it is, agarbatti, ghee, lamp, or and all those are nothing but Prithvi, Aap, Vayu, Tej, Akash. So he's saying the whole thing should be offered to Krishna because everything belongs to Krishna. Earth through incense stick, fire through ghee lamp, and a peacock feather fan. Air through peacock feather fan, and sound through conch shell. So everything, and our intelligence, our mind focused on. So everything comes from Krishna, everything belongs to Krishna, should be used in the service of the Lord. So that's what that pujari is declaring. In fact, Ghanti is not even offered. Ghanti is just an assistant, that bell. So, but then the bell rings, then people are watchful. Because otherwise, if he doesn't use bell, and is only offering incense stick, then ghee lamp, people will not understand. So when Ghanti, what is Aarti began. So just that ringing of the bell is superior to all the social welfare activities done in the creation. Social welfare activities means only catering to body or mind, kind of. So that is sixth. Then seventh. Vrunihi kamam drupayan manogatam mattastvam autana pade avishankitah varam vararhor ambujab nabhapadayor anantaram tvam vayamanga shushruma. My dear Dhruva Maharaj, son of Maharaj Uttanapad, we have heard that you are constantly engaged in transcendental loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known for his lotus navel. You are therefore worthy to take all benedictions from us. Please, therefore, ask without hesitation whatever benediction you want from me. In the middle, Prabhupada says, to be a devotee is therefore an exalted position. Mukti Devi. He quotes basically the paraphrased translation of the verse of Srila Bilva Mangal Thakur, who says, Bhaktistvai stiratara yadisya daivena nah palati divya kishora murtihi mukti swayam mukulitanjali sevyate asmat dharmartha kamagatayah samaya pratikshaha. And so that ever since I have been performing bhakti to you, O Lord, stiratara, stira bhakti, nishtha, yadisya, if it happens, daivena nah palati divya kishora murti. So in nishtha stage, because passion and ignorance is subsided, one is in goodness, so the divine couple, the Jugal Jodi, Radha and Krishna, Divya, or Krishna at least, Kishora Murti, Krishna in Kaishor. In Bilomagal Thakur's book, I have read recently, so there he uses the word Shishu for Krishna. So Shishu one may feel this one, but no, that Shishu means Kaishor Avastha. It is not Kumar, it is not Yauvan also, before Yauvan, Kaishor, so he is referring. And here it directly comes. Here he doesn't use Shisha or whatever. Here, Divya Kishora Murti. Krishna in Kaishor age. Young lad. Mukti Swayam Mukulitanjali Sevate Asmat. So that time, because we are engaged in the service of the Lord, Mukti Devi is waiting at the doorstep, saying, oh my dear Bilva Mangal, may I come in and render some service to you, sir? No, Mrs. Mukti Mataji. I'm sorry, I'm engaged in bhakti. So when you are engaged in the service of Supreme Mistress Bhakti Devi, one of her maid servants, Mukti Devi, is not required. What will she do? Not required. You are engaged in the Supreme Mistress service. And then Dharmartha Kama Gataya Samaya Pratiksha. So if Mukti is waiting there, so what to speak of Dharma, Artha and Kam? They will be far behind there. They are long in the waiting list. They will never get entrance only. Mukti is aspired for by so many people. 8.1 Maitreya Uvacha Saraja Rajena Varaya Chodito Dhruvo Mahabhagavato Mahamatihi Harau Savavre Achalitam Smritim Yaya Taratyayatnena Duratyayam Tamaha. The great sage Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, when thus asked to accept a benediction from Kuvera, the Yaksharaj, king of the Yakshas, Dhruva Maharaj, that most elevated pure devotee, who was an intelligent and thoughtful king, begged that he might have unflinching faith in and remembrance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For thus a person can cross over the ocean of nescience very easily, although it is very difficult for others to cross. So Nitya Smaran he is asking, Achalitam Smriti, undisturbed, Harau of Hari. In the middle of the purport, Prabhupada says, yogis endeavor to control the senses, but for a devotee, controlling the senses is no difficulty at all. Damn easy thing. Yes or not? Getting madly attracted by prasad is the complete sense control. Your material senses are not. All my senses are fully devoted to Krishna and Krishna only. And the greatest devotee is my stomach, Pet Prabhu. He doesn't accept anything but prasad, and if possible, Mahaprasad, and if possible, in Mahamatra. Such a great devotee, no matter how much ever Krishna comes, he is not satisfied only. Always ever ready for more Krishna to get in, to come in. So that's a perfection. That is full sense control. Prabhupada says one of the ways to control the tongue is to test only Krishna Prasad. So when the first time I read, what is this? ये तो गलत लग रहा है. My logical intelligence was thinking, if I take prasad, I will go uncontrolled. How will I control my tongue? But if you see, prasadam is not all the time available. If you go out preaching, traveling, and your prasadam was less somehow, it fell short. or somehow by mistake dal fell down, something like that. So now you are left with less quantity and you are satisfied with that. You at best you may purchase some apple, some fruit, which is very simple prasad. Generally our journey prasad means gajar ka halwa. Once I was traveling to, I think, I don't know where, Dharwad or somewhere. So 2-3 varieties of devotees provided me prasad at different station. And I had such a huge feast in the train, and then it was too much quantity. So then I went for food for life at Hubli station. How many of you seen Hubli station? Nobody, huh? It's a long platform, very posh also. Recently somebody told me it is the longest platform in the world or something. So whatever, but a very posh platform station. So I got down from the train. I knew it is for 5-10 minutes it halts. So I went walking. It is such a posh and high class platform. No beggar only there. walking. And I was wondering what to do now. Who will take? So after walking, maybe not half kilometer, little less than that. So I found the sweeper ladies were there in their blue saris with the broom. So then I asked one of them, Mataji, if you don't mind, can you take this prasadam? This is offered to Krishna. It was my journey prasadam. It is nice only. She said, okay. I said, don't throw it. It is Krishna prasad and all that. And then I gave it to her, the bag, and I came back. Afterwards, I was thinking, once she opens and sees, I'll say, my God, this sadhu, this is his journey prasad. In temple, what he might be taking then? Hope she doesn't think about, she doesn't get bewildered about my prasadam. It was high class. Gajar ka halwa. So once Rajesh Shampuru announced also, Arey, you brahmacharis fellows, you take gajar ka halwa in your journey prasad, at least don't take it on the lower berth. Go to upper berth. So the other passengers don't see. That in our Arey, sadhu Maharaj, jabardast hai. Journey prasad में गाजर का हलवा और इतना घी में हाथ सब पूरे चमक रहे घी से. So, हम बड़े बाप के बड़े बेटे, बिगड़े हुए बेटे हैं, बड़े बेटे भी. Live life king size. Live life with the king, then it is king size only. So anyway, unless one is blessed by Kuvera, one cannot become a king. So the word for Kuvera here is Raja Rajena. Raja Raj. That Ena is Tritiya. By the king of kings. So all the people in the world who are considered king, they have wealth. But that wealth is all just a small portion of what wealth Kuvera has. And by his blessing only they can have so much wealth. So that's why his name is Raja Raj. Unless one is blessed by Kuvera, one cannot become a king. So next 9th. Tasya pritena manasa tam dan tvaida vidatstataha pashyanto antardadhe sopi swapuram pratyapadyata. The son of Idavida, Lord Kuvera, was very pleased and happily he gave Dhruva Maharaj the benediction he wanted. Thereafter he disappeared from Dhruva's presence and Dhruva Maharaj returned to his capital city. So he is son of Idavida. Not sure, but he is some maybe brother of Vishrava, who was Ravana's father. So they are as such having connection. Or maybe Vishrava had 2 wives. In purport, Prabhupada says, why did Dhruva Maharaj take a benediction from a demigod? The answer is that for a Vaishnava, there is no objection to taking a benediction from a demigod if it is favorable for advancing in Krishna consciousness. The gopis, for example, worshipped Katyani, a demigoddess, but the only benediction they wanted from the goddess was to have Krishna as their husband. Morning, His Holiness Maharaj, Bhakti Ashray Vaishnava Maharaj gave very nice understanding also. So we don't have any. Prabhupada says demigods are the best friends of devotees. All demigods are our friends. And we can ask them anywhere we come across them to give us blessing so that we can make advancement. They are senior devotees. A Vaishnava, towards the end, a Vaishnava is always respectful to everyone. So when Kuvera offered him a benediction, he did not refuse it. but he wanted something which would be favorable to his advancement in Krishna consciousness. So be respectful to demigods also. We don't have any personal enmity with them. How can they bless?
Dhruva Maharaj, when he's asking for Achala Bhakti and unalloyed devotional service.
When the materialistic people approach demigods, they have that other side. They have to do that. Just like sometimes people will ask you also, na, Bro, could you please, sir, could you see my hand also, palm? So we may say something. So that way they have the two sides. But they are Vaishnavas also, though Mishra Bhaktas maybe. But some of them are very pure also. Not Kuber, Varun I think was approached by Hiranyaksha, saying that offer me daan do. Kiska daan? Fight. I want to have a duel with you. Said, you rascal, I am old now, what can I fight? But Lord has appeared now, go to Brahma, there you'll find, and you fight with him. So they are devotees. They can offer. Every devotee can offer us Krishna Prem to the degree he has it. Mancha kalpatarubhyasya. So they can give you Krishna's mercy to the degree they have it. So to the degree the demigods have it, different demigods will have different, they will be able to give you. Shanidev has offered prayers to Lord Narsimhadev. The prayers are there in Puranas. And the other day Vishwaraprabhu was also saying how Shani was a pure devotee and all that. So they all are devotees of the Lord. They are all limbs of the body of the Lord. Deva Narayana Angajaha. And sometimes they may have the... One thing is they have other side. Like Shiva also, he says in Rudra Gita, that is not yet covered I think here. That's in 24th chapter, 4th canto only. You will study later. So he says, my followers, they ask from me material benediction. And I give them, and that is called as Sakapata Krupa. But I am more pleased with the devotees of Lord Krishna, because they don't ask for any material benediction. So I am more pleased with Krishna's devotees than my own followers. So they all have this side also. So other side, Vaishnava means what you call Saragrahi. So we should accept the essence of the nice point. Vaishnavera guna desha, Vaishnavera guna grahi, na dekha ye dosh, kayamana vakya kare, Vaishnava santosh. Haridas Pandit's topmost quality. Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami reveals. Vaishnavera guna grahi, he accepts all the nice qualities of devotees. Na dekha ye dosh, he doesn't see their faults. Kaya mana vakya, with his body, mind and words, Vaishnava Santosh. He is engaged always in serving the Vaishnavas. So we should be Saragrahi. As far as the other side, what have we got to do with that? I give you example of potato we purchase. All of us have seen in childhood. Now also maybe in kitchen. We purchase potato and some part of the potato is rotten. Yes. Dark, black, like that. Do you throw away the potato? No. What do? We are peeling the potato with the peeler. So when that portion we see, then we don't use it as peeler, then we use the top pointed part, sharp, and then we cut out that black portion, throw it off, and then the potato is anyway peeled, then we cut it and use it for cooking. So only that part we throw away. We don't accept that. Potato we don't throw away, potato we use. So like that, every Vaishnava, sometimes some other part also may be there, so that you should not accept. That you remove. But overall it is good. Accept that. Now 10 to 16 is Dhruva's glorious rule and retirement or renunciation. Atha yajata yaggesham kratubhir bhuri dakshinaihi dravya kriya devatanam karma phala pradam. As long as he remained at home, Dhruva Maharaj performed many great ceremonial sacrifices in order to please the enjoyer of all sacrifices, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prescribed ceremonial sacrifices are especially meant to please Lord Vishnu, who is the objective of all such sacrifices and who awards the resultant benedictions. All these devotee kings, Rajarshis, you can see how they would perform their duties very wonderfully. What they would all have Krishna as the center of all activities. In the third paragraph, Prabhupada says Dhruva Maharaj, as an ideal king, practically emptied his treasury by giving charity. How much he gave? Then he talks about monarchy or democracy. Then in that paragraph, 10-15 lines later, he says, any householder, regardless of his position, can perform this Sankirtan Yajna without expenditure. Dhruva was Rajarsi, emperor rather. And our householders, they will not be so rich. But for them, they don't have to perform those kind of fire sacrifices in which unlimited wealth could have been offered. Here, this Sankirtan Yajna for Kali Yuga is very simple. Just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. No expenditure whatsoever. One may say for Murdang Kartal we need money. No, you don't need Murdang Kartal also. You can just clap hands. This is Kartal. Kar means hand, Tal means clap, like that. So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So simple. Anybody, anywhere, anytime. That's Sankirtan. Child can also participate. Even a dog can participate. So that in Varkari, that movie you saw, one deer was running with Varkaris. And when Katha they would stop, then the deer also stopped. And just not going, sitting, hearing. Like that. And in one foreign ISKCON temple, one cow would come for attending Bhagavatam daily, whatever time, that 8 o'clock dot she would be there and attend whole Bhagavatam class, and she would sit exactly on Mataji's side only. Maybe some ISKCON Mataji only for previous life. Or maybe Prabhuji who wanted to be on Mataji's side. So got opportunity to fulfill that desire also. But wanted to attend Bhagavatam also, knowing that this abhadra of being on the Mataji's side also will be removed by hearing Bhagavatam. So very fixed. I think that book is there, Animals in Krishna Consciousness. Who has written? Some devotee in ISKCON has written. So this is one example, cow. Huh? Huh. Okay. It's very nice. In that this cow story is there, I think. Then just 2-3 lines later, Prabhupada said, the Krishna consciousness movement is based on this principle. Chant the Hare Krishna mantra at every moment, as much as possible, both inside and outside the temples, and as far as possible distribute prasad. See, if you want, you can underline. The Krishna consciousness movement is based on which principle? Chant Hare Krishna mantra at every moment, as much as possible, both inside and outside of the temples, as far as possible distribute prasad. So 24 hours we have to chant Hare Krishna. Don't become tired. Then one line later, simply by liberal distribution of prasad and sankirtan, the whole world can become peaceful and prosperous. When Prabhupada was approached by one, top police officer of New York City, saying that so much crime in our city as well as in whole America and all over the world. So crime, why and what to do? So Prabhupada said, this is only because we are the first class criminals from Golok only. He committed crime there of separating ourselves, disobeying the laws of God there. So we came here, so we are continuing our criminal part here also. So it's very simple. If you want to get rid of crime from your New York City, we just want your little assistance. We'll remove it all. So what do you want? So just allow us to have Sankirtan on all the streets of New York and also give us some funds for distributing free prasad to all. Just simple. So then he said, oh, I need to put a word to superior. He was in one sense helpless. Personally, he might have been convinced, but what to do? He was not the top official. So that could never get materialized in one sense. Officially, ISKCON never got funds. But in, I think New Zealand, ISKCON has got a lot of funds by government only. So a lot of food for life happens in New Zealand by government's aid. they provide a lot of donations. So somewhere it happens, sometime it doesn't happen. Then we collect from our donors only, if the government doesn't help. So the only two things we have to do, Sankirtan and Prasad distribution. Then last paragraph beginning, although Dhruva Maharaj was a great devotee and had nothing to do with these sacrifices, to set an example to his people, he performed many sacrifices and gave all his wealth in charity. For as long as he lived as a householder, he never spent a farthing for his sense gratification. Jai, ideal grahastha. Nothing for himself, everything for Krishna only. 11th, Sarvatmani achyute asarve Tevrogham bhakti mudanvahan Dadarshatmani bhuteshu tam eva vasthitam vibhum. Dhruva Maharaj rendered devotional service unto the Supreme, the reservoir of everything, with unrelenting force. Means like very strict, While carrying out his devotional service to the Lord, he could see that everything is situated in him only and that he is situated in all living entities. The Lord is called Achyuta because he never fails in his prime duty to give protection to his devotees. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam jamai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sachamena pranashyati. One who sees me in everything and everything in me, for him I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. So Dhruva Maharaj could see that everything is situated in the Lord and he is situated in all the living entities. Twelfth, Tamevam Shila Sampannam. Just 1 minute. The last Chakravartipad says, by power of his mature meditation, he saw the Lord within his heart, Atmani, and externally in all beings. He could perceive Paramatma in heart and externally in all beings also, Lord is there. Tamevam Shila Sampannam Brahmanyam Dinavatsalam Goptaram Dharmasetunam Menire Pitaram Prajaha. Dhruva Maharaj was endowed with all godly qualities. He was very respectful to the devotees of the Supreme Lord and very kind to the poor and innocent, and he protected religious principles. With all these qualifications, he was considered to be the direct father of all the citizens. In the first paragraph towards the end, he says, as a child depending on the able father is completely satisfied, so the citizens of the state, being protected by the state or the king, should remain satisfied in every respect. And second paragraph middle, the administrators simply sit in their administrative posts and say no to every request as if they were paid to say no to the citizens. Contrast how the bygone ages, the kings would be giving their whole existence in the service of their citizen, whereas in the current modern day scenario, how the administrators, whatever the citizens request, no, that is not possible, no, as if they are paid salary for saying no only. Sarcastic remark, very high quality, high class. Chakravarti, this is 13, chalo. Shatrimsh dvarsha sahastram shasasashiti mandalam bhogaihi punyakshayam kurvan abhogair ashubhakshayam. Dhruva Maharaj ruled over this planet for 36,000 years. He diminished the reactions of pious activities by enjoyment, and by practicing austerities, he diminished inauspicious reactions. Towards the end, Prabhupada says, 4-5 lines before, a devotee is not concerned with enjoyment or distress, he simply desires to execute devotional service. Ahituki apratihata. And Chakravartipad says, desiring to destroy sinful reactions by vratas and destroying pious reactions by enjoyment, Dhruva ruled for 36,000 years. However, this desire to destroy reactions is exhibited out of humility. Actually, he did not have any pious or sinful reactions since he had developed prema. But so to say, he also accepted. That is his humility. 14th. Evam bahusavam kalam Mahatma Vichalendriyah Trivargopayikam Nitva Putrayadannurupasanam. The self-controlled great soul Dhruva Maharaj thus passed many years favorably executing three kinds of worldly activities, namely religiosity, economic development, and satisfaction of all material desires, dharma, artha, kam. Thereafter, he handed over the charge of the royal throne to his son. In the middle of the purport, Prabhupada says, in other words, he remained self-controlled. He performed his duties perfectly according to the materialistic way. That is the way of behavior of great devotees. Mahaprabhu had guided Raghunath Das Goswami Prabhupada quotes that be like a pound shilling man. That means having great interest in worldly earning. But internally, you lead Krishna conscious life. Externally, go on with these things. Fifteenth. Manyamana idam vishwam Maya rachitamatmani Avidya rachita swapna Gandharva nagaropamam. Srila Dhruva Maharaj realized that this cosmic manifestation bewilders living entities like a dream or phantasmagoria because it is a creation of the illusory external energy of the Supreme Lord. Gandharva Nagar. Hare Krishna. Thank you. This gap, I don't know how to. Could I have something? That table is not good. This gap was there, so it slipped through this. Do you have some hard surface? Maybe the pad is better. Thank you. I think better this way, otherwise this will also slip. This is longer side. Where were we? So Gandharva Nagar, Prabhupada talks Gandharva Nagaropamam. Behind this shadow creation, there is a reality, the spiritual world. A devotee is interested in the spiritual world, not its shadow. Since he has realization of the supreme truth, a devotee is not interested in this temporary shadow of truth. Basically, Mayavadi say Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. That only spiritual reality is there, they are out there. And here, this all Jagat is all Mithya. It's all false, but it is not false. So any Mayavadi claims like this is mithya, so you can say that you run through this wall because that is mithya, na? It doesn't exist. So if he is really a Mayavadi, he will run, and that will be the end of his Mayavad, because Mayavadi will only die by hitting the wall. But there is no true Mayavadi in the world today, so nobody will dare to run through the wall. He will say, no, it's okay. I accept the wall is there. It is not mithya. So then you can tell him it is there for temporary period, but it is there. It does exist. So one devotee was saying that how we should perform devotional service. Devotional service should be like breathing. It goes on non-stop. And even without our knowledge. Night time also we are breathing. Though we are so to say unconscious, but we are breathing. So devotional service should be performed like that, non-stop. Fifteenth, Manyamana idam vishwam. No, that we saw. Sorry, 16th. Okay, in the okay 16th. Atmastrapatya suhrudo balam vruddhakosham antahpuram parivihara bhuvascharamyaha भूमण्डलं जलधिमेखलमाकलय्य कालोपसृष्टमिति सप्रयो विशालाम्. Thus Dhruva Maharaj at the end left his kingdom, which extended all over the earth and was bounded by the great oceans. He considered his body, his wives, his children, his friends, his army, his rich treasury, his very comfortable palaces, and his many enjoyable pleasure grounds to be creations of the illusory energy. Thus, in due course of time, he retired to the forest in the Himalayas known as Badrikashram. All of us have given up our own things and joined as brahmachari. But what we have given up is hardly anything. How many of you had your own house, which you had earned by your money? We were renting. The wives only were staying mainly. So wife, children were not there. Treasury, some few rupees, few lakhs rupees, that you gave it to your parents. Not a big deal. So nothing like what Dhruva Maharaj had. So his renunciation is really amazing. We cannot say, yeah, I also gave up like that. No. His was vast amount of treasure. 17th. 17 to 35 are the Dhruva's ascent. Dhruva ascends to Dhruva Lok. Maybe we'll take break. Any question before we break? No question. So we'll take a break for 10 minutes, then we'll continue. Hare Krishna. If we have to continue tomorrow also, something remains. Is it okay? Oh, bad question I asked him. Worst question. No. Anit. Hare Krishna. So 17 to 35 is Dhruva ascends to Dhruva Lok. Now time is less, so I will not recite the verses. 17th. In Badrikashram, Dhruva Maharaj's senses became completely purified because he bathed regularly in the crystal clear purified water. He fixed his sitting position and by yogic practice controlled the breathing process and the air of life. In this way, his senses were completely withdrawn. Then he concentrated his mind on the Archa Vigraha, form of the Lord, which is the exact replica of the Lord, and thus meditating upon him, entered into complete trance. So Dhruva Maharaj got into deity worship. One devotee was saying that because of deity is forgotten. Deity means Durdarshan. So people watch movies on TV, and earlier government had this Durdarshan. So that has spoiled. In Chakravarti Pad's commentary, he says the Ashtanga Yoga process is described. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, and Samadhi. He practiced Dharan on the universal form, that Pratinidhi. He then meditated on the actual form of the Lord without interruption, and situated in Samadhi, gave up that gross universal form. So in Dharan stage, universal form, and in Samadhi stage, actual form of the Lord. 18th. Because of his transcendental bliss, incessant tears flowed from his eyes. His heart melted, and there was shivering and standing of the hairs all over his body. Thus transformed, in a trance of devotional service, Dhruva Maharaj completely forgot his bodily existence, and thus immediately became liberated from material bondage. So Prabhupada in purport says Dhruva Maharaj attained this stage of life by constantly discharging devotional service. The symptoms Ashta Sattvic Vikar were exhibited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Thakur Haridasa also, and all advanced devotees have that. End of first paragraph Prabhupada says, from the beginning of devotional service, the path of liberation immediately opens, just as the coconut taken from the tree immediately begins to dry. It simply takes some time for the shell and pulp to separate from one another. Very nice example. The moment you remove the coconut, the thing starts drying up. But some time later, then you can see the effect of complete dried up coconut. Mukta Lingaha. Mukta means liberated and Lingam is the subtle body. Devotional service has the potency to dissolve subtle body. Gross body anyway will go away, but Lord Kapila says, Jareti Ashu Yakosham Nigharanam Yathal Bonaha. Just like the fire within the wood burns the wood only, existence is finished off. Similarly, the devotional service performed in the heart, in the mind, through the mind, will dissolve the subtle body itself. That's why Prabhupada once in an interview by one reporter, when he asked, Prabhupada happened to say about something about pure devotees. Then he asked, how many pure devotees do you have in your organization? Prabhupada looked at the devotee sitting next to him, maybe for recording. Prabhupada asked, so how many devotees in ISKCON in all? So he said 75. Prabhupada looked at the reporter. So we have 75 pure devotees. Because they are all, like coconut has been removed from the tree, it is drying up. Just a matter of some more time, completely dry up. So like that, devotees are on the path of perfection. Perfection might not be at rest, but it's on the way. Just like if you are going towards Bombay, you are on the way. Just a matter of some 3-4 hours, you reach there. Likewise. Chakravartipad says, out of obligation, he performed yoga for 2 or 3 days to respect proper conduct of yogis present there. Actually, he did not have any time for yoga. The cause of his symptoms was not yoga. He had become free of bodily identification. Dhruva simply was showing the common people the process of karma yoga for householders and ashtanga yoga for renounced persons. So, for yad yad acharati sreshtas, for their sake he was doing, but he had high devotional service, and that was his qualification for having this Ashta Sattvic Vikar. 19th. As soon as the symptoms of his liberation were manifest, he saw a very beautiful airplane coming down from the sky, as if the brilliant full moon were coming down, illuminating all the 10 directions. 28th. Dhruva Maharaj saw 2 very beautiful associates of Lord Vishnu in the plane. They had 4 hands and a blackish bodily luster. They were very youthful, and their eyes were just like reddish lotus flowers. They held clubs in their hands, and they were dressed in very attractive garments with helmets and were decorated with necklaces, bracelets, and earrings. So Vishnudutas were looking like Vishnu only. 21st. Dhruva Maharaj, seeing that these uncommon personalities were direct servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, immediately stood up, but being puzzled in hastiness, he forgot how to receive them in the proper way. Therefore, he simply offered obeisances with folded hands and chanted and glorified the holy names of the Lord. Prabhupada says, chanting of the holy names of the Lord is perfect in every way. In all conditions we can chant. For Garbhadhan Sanskar, for the married couple who are Grihasthas, want to conceive Krishna conscious child, for their Garbhadhan, they should both chant. 64 rounds on the day when they are planning to unite. Then during pregnancy of that Mataji, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. She should chant, sing, and others in the house also should chant. And after delivery, child is born, chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. There are 40 samskaras mentioned in the scriptures. At least 10 should be performed. Dashavida samskar. So in that also all samskaras should be predominated by Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. To the degree that after all the soul has left the body, and the last samskar, antim sanskar, there also chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. And after that also continue chanting only. His children can chant because he produced them to be Krishna conscious. So Prabhupada says, third line, simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna mantra, he could satisfy the uncommon guests who had all of a sudden arrived before him. So anytime you get confused in life, just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. You don't know whether to do this thing or that thing, or to do something or not to do something. You just chant. That's it. That means everything will fall in place. It will be perfection. Now he got confused. What should I do? Vishnu Dusas have come. So he just chanted and done. Bahulashva, you know, that king in Mithila, when Krishna came to his house, he was ecstatic and he welcomed the Lord. He had so much paraphernalia. So he also chanted the glories of the Lord. And Shrutadeva on the other side, he was very poor. He did not know what to do. He took his uttari, rotated above the head, and he also chanted the glories of the Lord only. So that's it. Towards the end, Prabhupada says, a devotee, therefore, either in danger or in happiness, constantly chants the Hare Krishna mantra. Next line, if you want, you can underline or highlight. When he is in danger, he is immediately relieved, and when he is in a position to see Lord Vishnu or his associates directly, by chanting this Mahamantra, he can please the Lord. So, though the situations are contradicting or completely contrary to each other, your happiness one side, child is born, like that, and other side, somebody is dead in family. Situations are quite contrary to each other, but you can chant Hare Krishna. All contradictions are resolved in the Supreme Absolute Truth, and He has only come in the form of Holy Name. So, Holy Name dissolves or resolves all contradictions. This is the absolute nature of the Maha Mantra. Either in danger or in happiness, it can be chanted without limitation. In Chakravarti Pa's commentary, he says, out of confusion, sadhvasa, he forgot the sequence of worship. Thus he just chanted the names of the Lord. Jai Narayan, Jai Gopal, Jai Govind, and offered obeisances. Sometimes in deity worship also, you may change the sequence only. First you may offer ghee lamb and next incense sticks. So, but all throughout keep chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The outsiders who are watching and other pujaris and other devotees, they may be very upset. But Lord is happy because you continued chanting His glories. That's at the end we have that Aparada Sahasrani Kriyante Harnisham Maya Dasoham Iti Mam Matva Kshamasva Madhusodana. O Lord, I am committing offenses every now and then, in day and night. Aharnisham. Aparadha Sahasrani. Thousands of offenses I commit. Kriyante Aharnisham Maya. Ahar means day, Nisham means night. By me, thousands of offenses are done in day and night, 24 hours. Dasoham iti mam matva. Considering me to be your servant, Kshamasva, please forgive. Madhusudana, O Lord. So any mistake you are committing is happening, you just chant. And the mistake is no more a mistake. Don't commit mistakes purposefully, but mistakes will happen because we have imperfect senses. The senses, all senses should 24 hours chant Hare Krishna. But because we have not been chanting 24 hours, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam, or Kirtaniya Sadahari. That's why senses remain imperfect. And that's how we will be illusioned and we will commit mistakes. So when we commit mistake, you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So whatever was the imperfection in the senses, that is all removed because you are chanting Hare Krishna. So now you cannot be illusioned and you will not commit mistake. So either way, either you always engage in Krishna consciousness, that's why you never commit mistake, or you committed mistake, so you engage in Krishna consciousness by chanting, etc. And you get rid of all the mistakes. 22nd. Dhruva Maharaj was always absorbed in thinking of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. His heart was full with Krishna. When the two confidential servants of the Supreme Lord, who were named Nanda and Sunanda, approached him, smiling happily, Dhruva stood with folded hands, bowing humbly. They then addressed him as follows. In the purport, second paragraph, 2 lines later, he says, this human form of life is a chance to be trained to be agreeable to the orders of the Supreme Lord. So rebellion is the problem. Ichha dvesha samuthena dvandva mohena bharata. For our living Vaikuntha world and coming to this material world. So now that was done, now it should undo. What is the process of undoing? Agreeing to the orders of the Lord. There we did not agree. So that led to our getting removed from Vaikuntha world. Now again entrance is by agreeing. Just like some so-called Hindus, they rejected the principles of Hinduism and that's why they went out. But now Ghar Vapsi, coming back to their own religion, means what? Again accepting those principles which they had rejected earlier. So from disagreeable condition to agreeable condition to the orders of the Lord is what is chance for getting trained in human life. Bhagavad Gita, the laws of material nature are very strict as stated. No one can overcome the stringent laws of material nature. But by surrendering to Krishna, then one gets rid of Maya's clutches. What was possible for Dhruva Maharaj is possible for everyone to see the Lord face to face. Anyone who very seriously engages in devotional service can attain in due course of time the same perfection of the human form of life. So serious engagement is required. His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj once when he came from West America, so in his visit in India, Bombay for 7-8 months, whatever, all throughout, many times he quoted that the devotee should be sincere, serious and free from ulterior motives. First time he quoted, it's okay, like so many sentences in that this also. Then after some days or whatever, next class, again that statement came. It's like some devotees, what is that? Maybe we heard somewhere, or maybe Maharaj only. After some days, again third class, maybe somewhere, again devotee should be sincere, serious and free from ulterior motive. So it's like again and again and again, so it got registered. So many times he is saying, why is he stressing so much? But it is there in Prabhupada books, very clearly. Though all three terms are not together, some places two are together, sincere and serious. Here the seriousness is seen. Anyone who very seriously engages in devotional service can obtain in due course of time the same perfection of human form of life. How to be sincere? Sincere means always enthusiastic to execute the instructions given by the superiors, Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas. And how to be serious? By knowing that death is coming. Just like exam makes us very serious for studies. Otherwise we are not so serious about studies, including even brahmacharis. If we announce tomorrow is exam on these 2 chapters, all the devotees will be like, today evening you will cancel some engagements or you will take less prasad or you will sleep late. Like yesterday I had to prepare for this class, 52 verses. So I slept at 9:30. Generally I sleep by 8:30, 8:45. So I said, no, I had to go through the text. I cannot just go like that. So anytime exam is there, then we become serious. And for becoming free from ulterior motives, we should be in the association of pure devotees. Hear from them always. Then we will never have ulterior motives. 23rd. Nanda and Sunanda, the two confidential associates of Lord Vishnu, said, Dear King, let there be all good fortune unto you. Please attentively hear what we shall say. When you were only 5 years old, you underwent severe austerities and you thereby greatly satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada says what was possible for Dhruva Maharaj is possible for anyone. Any 5-year-old child can be trained, and within a very short time his life will become successful by realization of Krishna consciousness. Unfortunately, this training is lacking all over the world. It is necessary for the leaders of the Krishna consciousness movement to start educational institutions in different parts of the world to train children starting at the age of 5 years. Thus, such children will not become hippies or spoiled children of society, rather they can all become devotees of the Lord. The face of the world will then change automatically. Her Grace Urmila Mataji, when she came to Pune, NVCC, she gave Bhagavatam class. So she chose this verse for her Bhagavatam class. Bho bho rajan subhadram te vacham no avahitam shrunuhu yah panchavarshas tapasa bhavan devamati trupam trupat. So, and she gave class on this. Nice class. How children, and because the last line she was emphasizing, thus such children will not become hippies or spoiled children of society, rather they can all become devotees of the Lord. The face of the world will then change automatically. We want to create revolution in the world. So how to change the face of the world? By training children. They are the citizens of India or world tomorrow. So he said devotional service is to make a desireless person say yes to Krishna. Whatever the person's desire or no desire, we have to train him in saying yes to Krishna. That is devotional service. Our GPS is Paramatma, scriptures, Guru, etc. So he's in Badrikashram, where this is Saraswati flows is visible only in Badrikashram for some distance, then she disappears. She merges in Alaknanda. Even in Prayagraj, Triveni Sangam, she is not visible, but she is there underground. In Chakravarti Pa's commentary, he says, by saying good fortune to you, they indicate that he would attain the Lord's abode in his present body. Subhadram, good fortune. 24th. We are representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the creator of the whole universe, who carries in his hand the bow named Saranga. We have been specifically deputed to take you to the spiritual world. Great. Like somebody not initiated and he asked, he said, we have come here to take you to Guru Maharaj to get initiated. He'll be in ecstasy. Or likewise, any other thing. I don't know what. Okay, we have come here to take you to our BBRB or to Temple Hall, where you will be given Bhakti Vaibhav certificate. It's not blank, with your name that you have passed. So much I worked hard for these 3-4 years. So many classes and so many OBS, CBs, presentations, sloka memorizations, and what not. Worth it now. Got it. Got the certificate. So it's a final thing. So he is told like likewise one day. So just like initiation one thing, second Bhakti Vaibhav certificate, eventually maybe Bhakti Vedant. Likewise, you will get last certificate from Nanda Sunanda. They will come. Prabhu, my dear Dauji Nityam Prabhu, you sincerely developed Jabalpur Jabardastpur means Jabardast preaching you did there, and you created revolution in the impious lives of all the womb to tomb children to old and dead fellows also. So we are very pleased. Miss Lord is very pleased. We have been sent to take you to Golok Vrindam. Please sit. For you, small plane is sent. Means because you are very humble. Prabhu will cry tears. He will be crying tears before also. Ashta Sattvic Vikar. So, very good news. But devotee doesn't vary. That 4 kinds of liberations, even if Lord is eager to give, if there is no service for the devotee, is not eager to go to Golok Vrindam also. Vina mat saivanam, he says. In 25th. To achieve Vishnu Lok is very difficult, but by your austerity you have conquered. Even the great rishis and demigods cannot achieve this position. Simply to see the supreme abode, the Vishnu planet, the sun and moon, and all the other planets, stars, lunar mansions, and solar systems are circumambulating it. Now please come, you are welcome to go there. Last lines. Devotees have no interest in seeing other planets, but while going to back to Godhead, they see all of them as passing phases, just as one who is going to a distant place passes through many small stations. All of us have experience of traveling so much. So you may be going to Vrindavan, but on the way, hundreds of stations you will pass through. At least platform stations will be many, hundreds literally. But you see, okay. So many, it seems to be some important stations, so many thousands or hundreds of people. Okay. But you are not thinking of getting down there. Oh, hundreds of people, I will also get down. That is not the consideration, isn't it? You are just heading to Vrindavan. You are charmed by consideration of entering in Vrindavan. So we should be focused in that way. Otherwise, any desire, we can get down anywhere in any planetary system and remain stuck there. Every morning we sing, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadish kamaye, mama janmani janmanishware, bhavatad bhaktir ahaituki tvai. But no wealth, no followers, no women. I only want your devotional service birth after birth. So that should be springing from the heart. Otherwise it may be na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. In Telugu, na means my. My wealth, my women, and my followers. So Krishna, we may say na dhanam, but Krishna is hearing na dhanam. क्या बोल क्या रहा है? Not or my wealth or no wealth, my woman or no woman, my followers or no followers. Lord hears the inner voice, so we need to be careful. Anywhere, anytime desire is there for dhanam, janam, sundarim, that will come and one will remain stuck there, no further progress. Be satisfied with that. So one should not be satisfied with wealth coming, women coming, followers coming. That means he really wants to serve the Lord. So then he will get. And others come, dhanam come, sundarim come, janam come. Engage them in Lord's service. As I am engaged, I engage all my resources also that I get in the service of the Lord. So proper bhakti should be there in our life. Chakravarti Paz says, the Devatas and the 7 sages, without attaining that place, look at it from below. Demigods are in heavenly planets, they look up to Vishnu Lok. And the 7 sages, Saptarshi Lok, they also see that. Dhruva Lok is going, that is beyond Saptarshi Lok. So they also look up. Everybody has to look up. They cannot attain it, but they just look at it from below. The moon and other planets turn around that planet. So Dhruva planet is the pivotal, central point, topmost. And all other planets, whichever altitude they are at, they rotate, but they rotate with around that central axis drawn from Dhruva planet. They are also rotating. It's like a chandelier you might have seen in cosmology movies. So They're all rotating in their own places, but central point is Dhruva planet. 26th. Dear King Dhruva, neither your forefathers nor anyone else before you ever achieved such a transcendental planet. The planet known as Vishnu Lok, where Lord Vishnu personally resides, is the highest of all. It is worshipable by the inhabitants of all other planets within the universe. Please come with us and live there eternally. So Prabhupada also talks about Dr. Frog. The scientists cannot believe and they have their own things, theories. So faith, those who have faith, they will reach there. In Odia, there is a saying, Vishwase paibe hari, tarke bahudur. Correct? So if you have faith, you will achieve Krishna. That means he is in Krishna Lok only, Golok. But if we keep like Dr. Frog, the scientist, no, we don't think that can be ever existing. Where is it? We have been to all over place. We did not find. So for them, Lord's abode is very, very far. Lord is very far. So faith is required. Although Shraddha to Prem is nothing but faith only, but getting solidified. Love means unlimited faith. In the beginning, it is weak faith of a Kanishtadhikari. And that faith only through sadhu sang, bhajana kriya, it becomes solidified. Nishtha, this bhajana kriya is anishtita bhajana kriya. Faith but mixed with rajagun, tamagun, one loses faith in between. Or it reduces kind of. One's enthusiasm is down. Ghanatarala, taranga rangini, vyuda vikalpa, etc. And then that only anarthas are removed, then it is nishtha, nishtita vajana kriya. It's very steady, thick, deep-rooted banyan tree roots. Then the tree is not shaken up. And then what to speak of ruchi, asakti, bhav and prem. So faith is only in Krishna. That avashya rakshibe Krishna. Rakshashyati iti vishwaso gopatrutve varnam tata. Krishna will definitely protect me. Avashya rakshibe Krishna. I don't care for all these things. Even for that matter, I don't have to worry about taking medicines and anything. A devotee who is completely surrendered, he doesn't even bother about taking medicines also for ill health and all. Krishna will protect. Ananta Acharya was bitten up by a poisonous cobra. And all devotees said, go to Vaidya, let the poison be removed. He said, I am bitten up by samsara sarpa only. What can this ordinary sarpa do? He did not go only. But Lord protected. So that doesn't mean that we should also follow. We don't have that much faith, so we should take medicines. But somebody who has that faith, he will not. His Holiness Kadam Kanand Swami Maharaj, he was told by doctors, you have got cancer. With medicines, you will live for 1.5 years. Without medicines, 1 year. So I am not taking medicines. All the disciples in Durban, they have a big hospital. They are very good. So they were waiting, Guru Maharaj will come, will personally treat him for his cancer. And Maharaj went to somewhere else, London or somewhere. And they called, Maharaj, we are waiting, where are you? I am in London or something. London, but we were waiting in Durban. No, doctor has announced cancer, we will treat you. I said, no, I will not be taking any medicine. Let Krishna decide. And then he, after that tour, he went to Vrindavan, stayed in Vrindavan only for 1 year. And we all know how Krishna conscious. So all that. Prabhupada also said, don't take me to hospital. Don't put these needles, ventilator, all that is not required. Let us die peacefully. Marna to hai, aaj nahi to nahi. So rather than struggling at the last moment for few months or days to extend one's life, now is the time. Now. 2004, September 25th. When we could be Krishna conscious, isn't it? Why to now we can be daily you can chant unlimitedly. Rather than at the last moment, no, if only 5-10 days more I live, then I could chant more. No, now is the time, na? Now is the time. Don't believe in tomorrow. Today is the day. 27th. O immortal one, this unique airplane has been sent by the Supreme Personal Godhead, who is worshipped by selected prayers and who is the chief of all living entities. You are quite worthy to board such a plane. Nityo Nityanam, Chetanas Chetananam. All Nityanam are there, eternal beings. But one is Nitya, supremely eternal being in them. And all others are also conscious being, Chetananam. But in them, one is supremely conscious being, Chetanas Chetananam. So he is the chief of all living entities. Prabhupada in purport says Shishumar, where Lord Vishnu resides, who is in charge of the maintenance of this material world, resides. Next to Pole Star, there is Shishumar, where Lord Vishnu resides. So Dhruva became neighbor of Lord Vishnu. विष्णु उनके पड़ोसी बने और वो विष्णु के पड़ोसी बने in Dhruva planet. And Prabhupada talks about moving in outer space, 3 processes. Kapota Vayu, Ka means outer space, Pot means ship. Kapot means pigeon also. The third process is very subtle, it is called Akash Patan. The Akash Patan system is also material. Akash Patan system is the Vaikuntha process. Beyond this, it is completely spiritual, the way Dhruva Maharaj is going now. Chakravarti says, Ayushman, long lived, indicates that he will go in the same body. 28. The great sage Maitreya continued, Maharaj Dhruva was very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When he heard the sweet speeches of the Lord's chief associates in the Vaikuntha planet, he immediately took his sacred bath, dressed himself with suitable ornaments, and performed his daily spiritual duties. Thereafter, he offered his respectful obeisances to the great sages present there and accepted their blessings. Prabhupada in purport says, we should mark how dutiful Dhruva Maharaj was in his devotional service. Even at the time he left this material world, he was constantly alert in the performance of devotional duties. So when I read this line in the morning today, so I was thinking of Her Grace Satyavati Mataji. So because she had cancer, she would vomit blood. The previous night also, quite sometimes, she had vomited blood, so body was contaminated. So next day morning, she sensed that she is likely to leave body. Some kind of understanding come. So she took bath or new sari and dress and maybe put tilak and all that, and then soon she left body. So till last moment we should try to follow. Unless the body becomes it's like uncontrollably beyond our control kind of. His Grace, the Sarvam Prabhu's friend in the salted bread, what was the name? Sachisud Prabhu. So he also, in the last day, they were all imprisoned in the jail. So he took bath and wore dhoti and put tilak and all that. Paste ka tilak, because they were deprived of all their devotional paraphernalia. So toothpaste only he used for marking 12 marks, and chaddar he was wearing as dhoti or whatever. And then he sat for chanting, and while chanting only he left body. He had got a idea, but while chanting only, and some devotees came afterwards, told him whatever. So he did not move, the body collapsed. So till last moment, Yamuna Mataji also, in the midnight or any time somewhere, she felt some problem, so she got up in the night, she sat on the chair and kept chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Morning 3 o'clock or some time, her friend Mataji, what was the name? Tintarani Mataji, she came and she talked to her something. The Mataji was not saying anything, so she moved her. She understood she had left body while chanting on the chair. His Grace Aindar Prabhu, when there was short circuit in his room in Brahmacharya Ashram of Krishna Balram temple, Brahmacharya Ashram. So his body got burnt. So he understood last moment has come. So he had Shaligram Shilas in his room only, whom he would worship. So he paid obeisances to the deities, knowing that moment has come. In the morning, his dressing of Krishna Balram was there, or Radha Sham Sundar. So he would never go late. So that day he was late. So Pujari was wondering what is it? So where is he? Where is he? Nobody knows. So he went to a room and he knocked the door, not opening. Pounded, no. So ultimately they broke the door and all dark because of fire. This thing. So then they were searching for him. Where is he? So they found near the altar where Shaligram Shilas were there. He had paid obeisances, and in that paying obeisances format pattern only, he had left body. So devotees till last moment they practice whatever the strict regulations one is supposed to follow. He was constantly alert in the performance of devotional duties. Every devotee should take his bath early in the morning and decorate his body with tilak. In Kali Yuga, one can hardly acquire gold or jeweled ornaments, but the 12 tilak marks on the body are sufficient as auspicious decorations to purify the body. Since Dhruva Maharaj was living at that time at Badrikashram, there were other great sages there. He did not become puffed up because the airplane sent by Lord Vishnu was waiting for him. As a humble Vaishnava, he accepted blessings from all the sages before riding on the plane brought by the chief of the Vaikuntha Association. For us, if we are going for yatra, other devotees are going by train 2-3 days before, and we say, Hari Bol, Prabhu. And Prabhu, you are not coming? I will come tomorrow, I have plane. Subtle indication we give, I am great soul, for me plane. You fellows will be traveling slowly below on earth. I will overtake you all. I will start late but reach first. So a lot of pride is there. Here, forget that plane journey is nothing. Few thousand rupees. This lifetimes of earning is required to be able to go. And he is going. Plane is waiting. Nanda Sunanda. They are such pilots. Nobody gets such a plane. And he is so humble. He is taking their blessings. Tukaram Maharaj also, when he sat in the plane while he Ami Zato Amucha Gava, Amucha Rama Rama Gyava. Next line I don't know, So he says, I take the dust of the lotus feet of you all and pray at the lotus feet of you all. Please bless me that I will be able to serve the Lord in Vaikuntham properly. Who should bless whom? They should say, please bless us. They had that. But he was saying, that is the last Abhanga. He has crores of Abhangas. Some were noted down. Some were noted down by followers. And many were not noted down only. Everything that he would speak would be Abhanga only. Crores of Abhangas he has spoken. Not everything is noted down. Next, 29. Here it talks about Dhruva Maharaj body changing to spiritual existence. Before getting aboard, Dhruva Maharaj worshipped the airplane, circumambulated it, and also offered obeisances to the associates of Vishnu. In the meantime, he became as brilliant and illuminating as molten gold. He was thus completely prepared to board the transcendental plane. So, Vaishnava Chakradipad says that he worshipped the airplane, means he offered sandalwood and flowers to the airplane, saying, Bhagavad Vimanaya Namaha. Bhagavad Vimanaya Namaha. I pay my obeisances to the airplane of the Lord. Everything is worshipable if we are Krishna conscious. And if we are not, then nothing is worshipable. For that matter, deity also is not worshipable because he sees it as stone only. Vishwam Purana Sukhayate. One sees Krishna everywhere. Stavar Jangam Dekhi na Dekhi Tara Murti Sarvatra Haya Nija Ishtadeva Spurti Yomam Pashyati Sarvatra Sarvam Jamai Pashyati Tasyaham na Pranashyami Sachame na Pranashyati. So clear vision is required. Primanjana Churita Chakshu. Then one can see the Lord everywhere. Just like in childhood, how many of you seen that three-dimensional portrayal of something on paper? So you need three-dimensional specs. How many of you seen? You have not seen? I had in my childhood one comic book, something. So it was like, three colors, one figure only three times. You understand? Like head is like this, na? So this is one line, then next another blue color line and another one more red line. So, and it's like quite difficult for understanding. It's like messed up. But you wear that spec, the specs would come with that book. So you wear and you see, then you see clear picture. Then it's not three, then it's one thing only. So we should have transcendental vision. In the purport, Prabhupada says, Dhruva Maharaj knew all this very well as a pure Vaishnava, and he offered his respects to the associates and to the plane before riding it. That everything is non-different. Tasmat parataram devi tadyanam samaya. Aradhananam Vishnuna, Vishnu Aradhanam param. Of all the worships, Vishnu's Aradhana is topmost, and in that also, superior is his paraphernalia. This is all paraphernalia. Vishnu Dutas are the topmost. They are Vaishnavas, and apart from that, the plane itself. If you see materialistic people also, because of their ulterior motives, they also worship. Like on Dasera day, Diwali day, they worship the balance, the shopkeepers. You have seen Tarazu. They will put gandha on that, they will put flowers, kumkum, haldi, something they will do. And scooter, they will have garland. Yes, cars. What that is a dead matter. But they worship, saying that this gives us wealth, this gives us safe transport, like that. So how much more we should think of spiritual items. They are directly connected to the Lord, they are directly in the service of the Lord. They all become worshipable. So Prabhupada in purport little ahead says, as soon as we are in a temple, we should know very well that we are situated differently from the material world. We are so fortunate we are staying within the temple complex. Can you imagine? We take it very cheaply, and because everyone, and we hundreds of brahmacharis staying so cheaply, at the time of death, the amount of gratitude we'll have will be so unlimited. My God, I stayed in temple only, all through. Like in the childhood and all, माँ मंदिर जाके आता हूँ, मंदिर जाके आता हूँ. देखिए हम क्या कर रहे हैं? यद गत्वा नंदी होते, मंदिर गया और इतने गए कि माता पिता भी बोलते वो गया गुजरा है, वो हाथ से चला गया. लेकिन कहाँ चला गया? मंदिर चला गया, मंदिर में ही रह गया. So nice, na? We are so fortunate. Prabhupada has created such an amazing fortune for so many jivas, fallen souls. Grihastha should make their house into Vaikuntha, in temple. And their residing there is also non-different from residing in temple. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Je dina gruhe bhajan dekhi gruhe te go loka bhaya. Whatever the next line. So when I enter in temple, that day when I see bhajan is going on in house, and when that day, every day, he had a full-fledged Sankirtan party of 10 children or 12 children. One is playing Mridang, one is playing Kartal, one is leading Kirtan, and one is dancing, one is doing deity worship. Maybe dancing, many are there, because Kartal player, Mridang player, deity worshipper, 3 are over. And one who leads Kirtan, he can play Kartal or Mridang also. So rest all are for dancing only. So every day you would find the house turned into Golok Vrindavan. So he says, if we are submissive to the will of the Lord, it leads to transcendental vision. Chakshudan dilojai janme janme prabhu se divya gyan ridhe prakashito. So we have transcendental vision when we are dedicated, submissive to the will of the Lord. So we should always know whether I am going according to the will of the Lord, which comes through the instruction of the spiritual master, which comes through the services given by our devotees around us. 30th. When Dhruva Maharaj was attempting to get on the transcendental plane, he saw death personified approach him. Not caring for death, however, he took advantage of the opportunity to put his feet on the head of death, and thus he got up on the airplane, which was as big as a house. So devotee conquers over death, which nobody else can do. Mrityunjay. He used death personified only as a stepping stone. That is not out of disrespect, that is understood. Prabhupada gives example of a cat kitten in the mouth of cat or rat in the mouth of cat. So kitten, for them death, for materialistic people, Krishna comes, death comes as, what they say? For materialist, Krishna comes in the form of death. And for a devotee, death comes as Krishna. Nobody knows? Find out. The next meeting you can tell. But just like for kitten, that bite of the teeth of mother cat, they are like love points. The teeth go in the stomach of the kitten, but it is not piercing the skin and tearing it off, but he knows it's a safety, it's a security. There are security points, love bite. Whereas for rat, it's not a love bite, it's a death bite. For him, it will be, it goes inside the skin. The blood is coming out, and the fellow is trembling. He's trying to escape, but no escape. Like that. And he knows just few more minutes, and I would be over. Existence would be over. So Krishna, death comes for both devotee and materialist. But for a devotee, it's opening of the doors of Golokrunda with the death. But for a materialist, death is so scary. All that he worked hard for to accumulate, he is stripped of it. Very scary. Prabhupada also talks about the modern day airplanes, how material scientists are not perfect in their design, and so many disasters happen. Once in India, the plane was flying quite high above the ground, and suddenly the capsule, that is like a capsule, the upper cap only flew away. And you know the speed of the airplane and at such height, it was so cold, and the whole thing is, and all the passengers are getting such strong breeze, and it's very cold also. Once I was traveling in the plane, they said the outside temperature is some minus 20 something, they said, and I was shocked. What? So much, huh? I could not imagine only. It's very high on the height, no? So maybe very cold. But anyway, so then that fellow, fortunately the plane pilot, he was fighter plane pilot earlier. So he was quite expert. So then he brought the plane to quite a low height. It was okay. Though people got injuries on their face and all, but because everybody had seat belt, then nobody died. Then he did a safe landing somewhere. But for some minutes at least, the plane was going. And so many things happen. The planes go for regular, what they call, servicing after every few days or weeks. Every plane, everything they open and they see whether there is some screw which is rotten, or what they call, rusted. That screw is enough for devastation. And so many plane accidents also happen. But this plane is not like that. That Prabhupada talks about it. This is very nice. Completely safe. 32nd. At that time, drums and kettle drums resounded from the sky. The chief Gandharvas began to sing, and other demigods showered flowers like torrents of rain upon Dhruva Maharaj. 32nd. Dhruva was seated in the transcendental airplane, which was just about to start, when he remembered his poor mother, Suniti. He thought to himself, how shall I go alone to the Vaikuntha planet and leave behind my poor mother? So Prabhupada translation and purport. In the middle, Prabhupada says, it is the duty of the Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru to instruct the disciple in the right way, and it depends on the disciple to execute the process. According to Shastric injunctions, there is no difference between Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru, and generally the Shiksha Guru later on becomes the Diksha Guru. So Suniti, she was a woman, mother of Dhruva, but she was also like Shiksha Guru. Diksha Guru was Narad Muni, but still, he was not less obliged to Suniti. There was no question of carrying Narad Muni to Vaikuntha Lok. Narad Muni is independent. He is always liberated. But Dhruva Maharaj thought of his mother. Then second paragraph, 2 lines later, A devotee fulfills his wishes simply by being dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he had desire to get out of this material world, so Krishna fulfilled that also. In next little, towards the end, a pure devotee like Dhruva Maharaj can fulfill all his desires. ये प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा श्री गुरु चरणे रति यही से उत्तम गति ये प्रसादे पूरे सर्व आशा. So in Pancharatri Vidhi, the lotus feet of Guru are worshipped, and in Bhagavad Vidhi, the words emanating from his lotus lips. Both are mentioned in Shri Prem Bhakti Chandrika only. These are the first four lines, stanzas taken. That song has 11-12 stanzas, but Prabhupada has taken 4 only for Guru Puja in ISKCON temples, Guru Vandana. So, what I was telling? So, both Bhagavad Vidhi and Pancharatri Vidhi. So, the disciple who has faith in the power of the lotus feet of the spiritual master, Shri Guru Charane Rati, yahi se uttama gati. So, then he will reach where the lotus feet of spiritual master will travel. Where will they travel? They will travel to Golok. So, disciple also will reach. Ye prasade pure sarva asha. By the mercy of the spiritual master, once all spiritual desires will be fulfilled. No need to worry. So that's why to the degree one has faith in the spiritual master, he is peaceful. And to the degree one doesn't have faith, he is restless. Oh, this desire is not fulfilled. Oh, what about that desire? Oh, when this will happen? When will that happen? Will this happen or not happen? No need to worry. Don't take tension. He says, Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakalai Ashanta Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ateva Shant. If you have no material desire, then you are peaceful. But when we have material desire, then we are very restless, asthir or ashant. So just what is yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha guru tasyaite kathitha hi artha prakashante mahatmana. Only unto those great souls who have implicit faith both in the Lord Krishna and Supreme Personality of Godhead and the spiritual master. All the imports of Vedic knowledge are automatically revealed, and all the knowledge in the revealed scriptures is relieving us of all our tensions and all our disturbances and giving us assurance. Don't worry. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna will definitely protect you. Why are you so much tensed? Be peaceful. Be peaceful. Then 33rd. The great associates of Vaikuntha Lok, Nanda and Sunanda, could understand the mind of Dhruva Maharaj, and thus they showed him that his mother, Suniti, was going forward in another plane. Prabhupada said this incident proves that the Shiksha or Diksha Guru, who has a disciple who strongly executes devotional service like Dhruva Maharaj, can be carried by the disciple even though the instructor is not as advanced. So we should preach. Who knows, by your preaching some great soul may come who has done lot of bhakti before, and he will become pure devotee, he will become Guru in ISKCON, he will have thousands of disciples. But because you brought him to ISKCON, you are going back to God, it is confirmed. He will remember, Prabhu, you were there. I was yesterday morning, or day before yesterday morning, I was expressing my gratitude to His Grace, Krishnanand Prabhu, when he was taking prasad in Prasad Mahal. I came late and I sat next to him. I said, Prabhu, I'm very grateful. Way back in 97 or 98, you gave us 100 cassettes of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj lectures. We were students, and our IYF ISKCON Forum did not have enough money. We had some cassettes given by Youth Forum, but they were few. He at once got some sponsorship through some grahasthas and gave us 100 cassettes, the tape recorder, 100 lectures. And we would keep hearing little, like that every day. So in those years, it was a great blessing. Similarly, he would sponsor Bhagavatam also for us or get it subsidized. He would ask, Bhagavatam, I don't remember how much, 2.5 or 3,000 rupees it was that time. So you just have to pay 1,000 or I don't know whether he gave full sponsorship, but at least subsidy he would arrange like that. So some of us purchased Bhagavatam also, because just you have to pay 1,000 rupees or something, and you get the full whole set. So gratitude is natural for a person. They say advancement in Krishna. They say what is it? The attitude of gratitude decides one's altitude. Altitude means height. How high you are in Krishna consciousness, that is seen by your gratitude. So as you advance, your gratitude towards your superiors increases like anything. And if the Gyan Bijas are there in our heart, the gratitude will reduce. And we will be so arrogant, we will be blaspheming our superiors also. To the extent Diksha Guru also you can blast at, because of your association with Mayavadis or Gyanis. There are cases like that also, even within ISKCON. So it should not be like that. Bhakti growth means heart becoming softer and softer. And gratitude makes heart very soft. Whereas lack of gratitude, they have ingratitude word, English. Some word is ingratitude, no? Makes heart hard. That should not happen. When pure Bhaktilata Bij is accepted, that is only seed given in Guru Parampara. No other seed is given. No Jnana Bij, Yoga Bij, Karma Bij. But because of our materialistic people's association, we get this seed somehow. And we put them also in our heart, and then heart becomes hard, and problems come. But when he says, Sai Bija Laya Kare Aropan Shravana Kirtana Jale Karaye Sinchan, 152, next to Brahmanda Brahmidekono Bhagyavanji in Rupa Shiksha, 19th chapter of Madhya Lila. So he says, one should take that seed gifted in Guru Parampara by spiritual master and Kare Aropan, sow it in the soil of your heart. Then Shravana Kirtana Jale, with the watering of hearing and chanting, Karaye Sinchan, what do you call it? Irrigate, do irrigation, let it flourish. Prahlad Maharaj delivered Hiranyakashipu, Prabhupada says. The conclusion is that a disciple or an offspring who is very strong devotee can carry with him to Vaikuntha Lok either his father, mother, or Shiksha or Diksha Guru. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also said, with all this enormous endeavor of 64 Gaudiya mutts, if only one of my disciples becomes pure devotee, then by his strength, I will be able to go back home back to God. Prabhupada said the same thing. One of my disciples becomes pure devotee, like Dhruva Maharaj, then he will be able to carry me with him to Vaikuntha Lok. So we should also preach. We may not become pure, but somebody we happen to bring, he may become pure and done. I heard the person who brought Bhakti Rasamrut Maharaj to ISKCON, he continued chanting one round for many years. Where Bhakti Rasamrut Maharaj became brahmachari, 16-rounder, and initiated in sannyasi also. But that person, I don't know who he is, but his deliverance will be guaranteed. Even if he doesn't chant anything. So Radhesham Prabhu was saying once that give out malas to everyone. Tell them, please chant one round, please chant. Somebody will become big devotee in future and will be delivered. Crazy Peter, you know, how everybody rejected him. His only Giraj Swami Maharaj was merciful to talk to him. And that person became Kushakrat Prabhu, a great Sanskrit translator, great devotee. So keep preaching. Preaching is the essence. You will be delivered. 34th. While Dhruva Maharaj was passing through space, he gradually saw all the planets of the solar system, and on the path he saw all the demigods in their airplanes showering flowers upon him like rain. Prabhupada in purport said, no one can surpass the higher planets in a material body, but when one gets a spiritual body, he can travel not only to the higher planetary system of this material world, but even to the still higher planetary system known as the Vaikuntha Lok. Then second paragraph, like Shri Suniti, every mother should train her child to become a devotee like Dhruva Maharaj. All mothers in ISKCON should train their child as Dhruva Maharaj. I sometimes play with the children and ask them, so your father is engineer, mother is doctor, so what will you be in future? He says, I will be lawyer, I will be IAS officer. He said, no, you should want to become a devotee like Prahlad. And he's like, no. And the parents are also wondering, so what tricky question. Father is doctor, father is lawyer, whatever. You understand? No? The children are trained by mother and father. You should become this, you should become that. Very rarely child will say, when I played this with one boy and another girl I asked, she said, I will become devotee. I said, you saw the exercise, so you know what to answer and what not to answer. But generally they fail because parents don't train properly. So, beta, when you grow up, you should become doctor or lawyer, isn't it? So they should know that I should become a devotee of the Lord. She never desired that her son remain at home comfortably without ever undertaking austerities and penances to achieve the favor of the Supreme Person God. Every mother like Suniti must take care of her son and train him to become a brahmachari from the age of 5 years and to undergo austerities and penances for spiritual realization. The benefit will be that if her son becomes a strong devotee like Dhruva, certainly not only will he be transferred back to Godhead, but she also will be transferred with him to the spiritual world, even though she may be unable to undergo austerities and penances in executing devotional service. So on my mother's Therava 13th day, when I was speaking in front of the relatives in hometown, so I was telling that just like this same example, Dhruva Maharaj remembered his mother while departing. So I will definitely remember my mother. Though we don't know whether we will be able to board the Vaikuntha plane in this life or not. But whenever that moment comes, we'll definitely remember her contribution. So much spiritual input. She never stopped me from being a brahmachari and going ahead on the path. Though I said, it's just like she had eldest son who got married. So in the core of her heart, there might have been a desire that I should have younger daughter-in-law also. But seeing that I was not interested in that kind of life, and I wanted to dedicate as a full-time brahmachari. So she did not ever express internal desire that please get married. Never said that. I said that desire might have been there, not there, but mostly might have been there. But she never expressed. So, and she always encouraged, said never turn back, go straight forward. So her contribution was enormous. So last moment I will definitely remember her. Prabhupada also, one devotee said, 2 months before his departure, he remembered his mother Rajani. Very surprisingly. In one sense, she was not as devoted and pure devotee like Gaur Mohan De. Prabhupada dedicates the whole Krishna book to Father Gaur Mohan De, who trained me from childhood, he says, and eventually Bhakti Thakur. But Rajani, mother, he remembered 2 months before departure. Prabhupada was 82 years old and he remembered mother. So, because anybody who assists us in our Krishna consciousness, we are grateful to them, definitely. So, mother should train her child as a devotee and should encourage him to become brahmachari and remain brahmachari lifelong. That is ideal mother. 35th. Dhruva Maharaj thus surpassed the 7 planetary systems of the great sages who are known as Saptarshi. Beyond that region, he achieved the transcendental situation of permanent life in the planet where Lord Vishnu lives. Then next 5 verses 36 to 40 are about glories of Dhruvalok. 36. The self-effulgent Vaikuntha planets, by whose illumination alone all the illuminating planets within the material world give off reflected light, cannot be reached by those who are not merciful to other living entities. Only persons who constantly engage in welfare activities for other living entities can reach the Vaikuntha planets. Hari Bol. Prachar Karya ki jai. See, Yavan yan na avrajan jantushu ye ananugraha. So you have to be very merciful. Anugraha. You have to shower on all others. That means be merciful, preach to them. Krishna says, Nachatasman manusheshu kashin me priyakritam. There is no one more dear to me than he who preaches my message. Gopis have glorified the preacher of Bhagavad Katha, Harinam, Harikatha. So preaching is very glorious activity. Always we should preach, whatever way, small way, big way. That is immaterial. Such incessant welfare activities can really be performed only in Krishna consciousness. There is no philanthropic work within this material world but Krishna consciousness that can engage a person 24 hours a day. Somebody was saying that the sadhus in other mathas, so many ashrams, mathas are there, brahmacharis all over India, isn't it? So morning they get up, what is there for them? Nothing is there. There is no strict regulation as to what time they should get up. Any time they get up in brahmachari ashram, they will only take bath and afterwards what? Some people may be doing some sadhana, something in their own room. Maybe they are chanting some mantra. They may read some scriptures, those who are little scholarly. And then they will go to take food in their matha, kitchen, prasadam hall. That's it. There is nothing like deities in temple, and if at all they are there, there is nothing like morning program. There is nothing like 4:30 dot every brahmachari has to reach. So what a pathetic life. Can you imagine your life? Here we make rules like that. Henceforth, no morning program compulsory. My God, half the people will not go. Hari Hari Bol, very good. But after some time, what will be the case? 1 month, 2 months, 3 months later, 5 months later, we will be like all down. Fall down. First down on the bed and then fall down. We will fall down to ground floor and then underground, invisible. Namo Nishan mid jayega. But unfortunately, many sadhus in India lead a life like that only in their mathas. So only Krishna consciousness has that power to engage all people 24 hours a day. So that's why it is must. Prabhupada says towards the end, Gyanis are not as sinful as karmis, but they do not try to reclaim others back to Godhead. So we have been given the topmost thing. We are recruiting people for Golok Vrindavan. We are all recruiting officers of that international company called ISKCON, International Society for Vishnu. And we go on recruiting. He has opened branch in Jabalpur, then in VIT Chowk. Prabhu is here only, NVCC campus. Hyderabad, and so many others going all over. Bus party goes all over Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra. Where? And I go to all these all these offices, and I become self-appointed recruiting officer. Directly, recruiting for brahmacharis. Open declaration, because no post position, nobody can strip me off my post because there is no post only. So directly I tell in all lectures to all the boys, everybody should join as brahmacharis, at least for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, and then decide for yourself. But brahmachari training is must. Prabhupada has quoted. I speak hundreds of things, and I tell them this is no force. I never force anyone because Radheshampur will catch my ear. I only tremendously inspire. I never force. So it's a complete package. Because we need many. And whether we need many or not, I will be delivered. If one of them becomes pure devotee. Done. Okay, so next, who can go back to Godhead? 37, please repeat. Shantaha samadrusha shuddhaha sarvabhutanuranjanaha yanti anjasa achyutapadam achyutapriya bandhavaha. So 5 qualities he describes. Persons who are peaceful, shantaha. So ask yourself, are you shant? What makes you disturbed? It is material desire only. Samadrushaha, equipoised. Shuddhaha, cleansed and purified. Sarva bhutanu ranjana, and who know the art of pleasing all other living entities. Joy. Keep friendship only with devotees of the Lord. Achyuta priya bandhavaha. They alone can very easily, anjasa, achieve the perfection of going back home, back to Godhead. Achyuta padam. So 5 characteristics are required. So think in these lines, how to develop these characteristics. Prabhupada says they are simply dedicated to the service of the Lord. Our devotee is peaceful because he is fully surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thinks of himself as completely helpless, just as the child feels complete peace in depending on the parent. So a devotee is completely peaceful, for he depends on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Second paragraph, After 4 lines, without the association of devotees, one cannot advance in Krishna consciousness. That's why Tandera Charan se bhi Bhakta Sanivas, Janna mein janne mein hoye, yehi abhilash. In 4-5 lines later, no one can be more pure than devotees. Sarva Bhutanu Ranjana. Then 1 line later, since a devotee constantly chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna mantra, no contamination of the material world can touch him. See, it is assumed that devotee chants constantly and material contamination cannot touch him. So we all have to chant continuously. 38. In this way, the fully Krishna conscious Dhruva Maharaj, the exalted son of Maharaj Uttanpad, attained the summit of the 3 statuses of planetary system. Bhur, Bhuva, Swa, or upper, middle and lower planetary system. He went beyond all that. Anyone who is going forward to the goal of Krishna is called Krishna Parayan or fully Krishna conscious. For him, Krishna Parayan word has come. And last line, a Krishna conscious person can occupy an exalted position beyond the imagination of any ambitious materialist. What materialists want at best? Want a visa, green card of America, citizenship of London, etc. That is nothing. Devotee gets the highest. Very ambitious. 39. Saint Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, descendant of Kuru, as a herd of bulls circumambulates a central pole on their right side, all the luminaries within the universal sky unceasingly circumambulate the abode of Dhruva Maharaj with great force and speed. Second line in purport. Even the sun travels 16,000 miles in a second. 16,000 miles. And sometimes we travel few 100 miles. Takes so long. Sun in 1 second is saying 16,000 miles. That Chakshuresh Savita. Together all of them encircle the pole star or Dhruva Lok, where Dhruva Maharaj is situated at the summit of the 3 worlds. So all the planets in their own planetary system, in their own orbits, below. Dhruva is at the top, Dhruva Lok. In commentary, Chakravarti says, time is always awake. Thus the planets circle incessantly. Great speed modifies the herd of bulls. So planets are always, time continues. 40th. After observing the glories of Dhruva Maharaj, the great sage Narada, playing his veena, went to the sacrificial arena of the Prachetas and very happily chanted the following 3 verses. As a father is very happy to see the son's advancement in every respect, so the spiritual master is very happy to observe the ascendancy of his disciple. So many times we want to please our spiritual master. So we don't have to go and ask him what to do. We just practice Krishna consciousness very nicely. Spiritual master is very pleased. And when we advance. Now next 3 verses, 41 to 43, Narad Muni glorifies Dhruva at the Pracheta sacrifice. 41. The great sage Narada said, simply by the influence of his spiritual advancement and powerful austerity, Dhruva Maharaj, the son of Suniti, who was devoted to her husband, acquired an exalted position not possible to attain even for the so-called Vedantists or strict followers of the Vedic principles, not to speak of ordinary human beings. In Chakravarti Path's commentary, he said, Dhruva was the personification of severe austerities. Even on seeing his attainment, sages, kings could not attain the esoteric practice for that attainment, what to speak of the attainment itself. So that practice also was difficult for them, what to speak of what he attained, the Dhruva Lok. 42nd. The great sage Narada continued, just see how Dhruva Maharaj, aggrieved at the harsh words of his stepmother, went to the forest at the age of only 5 years and under my direction underwent austerity. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead is unconquerable, Dhruva Maharaj defeated him with the specific qualifications possessed by the Lord's devotees. Ajito jito api taistrilokyam. The Lord gets conquered by hearing and chanting about him. The Supreme Godhead is unconquerable. Purport. No one can conquer the Lord, but he voluntarily accepts subordination to the devotional qualities of his devotees. So why Lord gets attracted to us or subordinates himself to ourselves, to us? Because he gets attracted to the qualities, and the quality is nothing but devotion, and devotion is nothing but Srimati Radharani. So Krishna is, Radharani is Madan Mohan Mohini. As we are parts and parcels of Krishna, our devotion is part and parcel of Srimati Radharani. So Krishna gets attracted to our devotional service. He doesn't get overpowered. We cannot defeat him, But our spiritual practice defeats the Lord. Unconquerable becomes conquered. 43rd. Dhruva Maharaj attained an exalted position at the age of only 5 or 6 years, after undergoing austerity for 6 months. Alas, a great Kshatriya cannot achieve such a position even after undergoing austerities for many, many years. So one devotee said, in the purport he says, Dhruva Maharaj is described here in a Kshatra Bandhu, which indicates that he was not fully trained as a Kshatriya because he was only 5 years old. He was not a mature Kshatriya. In fact, he was not even gone to Gurukul. So he did not learn alphabets also. That's why when he saw the Lord, he did not know choice poetry or poetry also. He was not able to glorify. But then Lord touched his forehead with his transcendental counsel. And by that, Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashit, then he could glorify the Lord in choice poetry. So he was not exactly Kshatriya. He was a Kshatra Bandhu only. He was born in a Kshatriya family, not yet developed the qualities of Kshatriya. He was immature, but by his practice under able guidance of Narad Muni, he could reach perfection. So one devotee was telling, spiritual training does not have to wait for material training to get over. Dhruva got no material training, either in alphabets, language, nor in Kshatriya codes, Kshatriya valor, expertise, archery, or whatever that. Nothing. So spiritual training does not have to wait for material education, material training to get over. He got into spiritual training directly and he became perfect in that. His spiritual training superseded his material training. And he was saying that Sadachar plus Vichar is equal to Prachar. One should have proper conduct in his life, Sadachar. And Vichar, he should have spiritual thoughts. And that leads to Vichar. So, Achar and speaking, then it will become Prachar. Towards the end he says, every one of his disciples, Bhaktivinoda Thakur disciples, could attain Vaikuntha Lok. He would say about his disciples. He used to say that every one of his disciples could attain Vaikuntha Lok in this life without waiting for another life to execute devotional service. One simply has to become as serious and sincere as Dhruva Maharaj. Then it is quite possible to attain Vaikuntha Lok and go back home, back to Godhead in one life. So here also serious and sincere words have come. They come in quite some places in Prabhupada's purports. Similarly in Chitraketu, not Chitraketu, who was the demon? Rutrasurus, that before Nanaka Prishtam. What is the first verse? Aham Hare Tava Padai Kamula. So there also I think sincere, serious words come in the purport. So one devotee was saying that Ado Shraddha, our devotional process, Ado Shraddha begins with doubt. Some faith is there, weak faith. Some doubt, but it begins with doubt in material life. All these advertisement, they're promising this, promising that. So one who has doubt in that, what is material? I don't see what promises, they're all false promises. So he is having Ado Shraddha, means some faith, and he can proceed further. When Prabhupada was preaching, Giraj Maharaj's father, who tried to take him away and could not. So while leaving, he said, your spiritual master has two qualities. He is a great organizer and he knows well how to deal with people. Because they were dealt so amazingly by Prabhupada. He is spiritual master, you are fortunate. You got such a spiritual master. And Chakravarti says, even the best Kshatriya is the lowest, that is Kshatra Bandhu, compared to Dhruva. He desires to attain that position, but can he attain it even after many years? Shat Pancha Varsha means Dhruva, who was 5 or 6 years old. Now 44 to 52, Phalastuti, till end. So many verses, 9 verses, whatever. They are all about Phalastuti. The great sage Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, whatever you have asked from me about the great reputation and character of Dhruva Maharaj, I have explained to you in all detail. Great saintly persons and devotees very much like to hear about Dhruva Maharaj. They say also that no discussion on Harikatha ends without discussing about Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj. And we know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu daily, he would hear from Gadadhar Pandit, who was so expert in Srimad Bhagavatam, Radharani only. So he would hear whether Dhruva Katha or Prahlad Katha, and after hearing it once, he would say, repeat it again. After hearing again, repeat it again. Same pastime, hundreds of times. That was the enthusiasm of Mahaprabhu. Dhruva is famous for his determination. Towards the end, purport Prabhupada says, a sincere devotee should read every chapter and every word of Srimad Bhagavatam. For the beginning verses describe that it is the ripened fruit of all Vedic literature. Devotee should not try to avoid even a word of Srimad Bhagavatam. Because some people directly jump to 10th canto, Ras Panchadhyay. Prabhupada says, no, one should read step by step. And all word, everything. How many of you read Bhagavatam once through? All 12 cantos. Great. Your batch is glorious. I doubt whether in other batches so many people will raise hand. Good. That is real Bhakti, Vaibhav Bhakti Vedanta. This is little official formal, but that informal is more important. Personally reading. Then 45th. By hearing the narration of Dhruva Maharaj, one can fulfill desires for wealth, reputation, and increased duration of life. It is so auspicious that one can even go to a heavenly planet or attain Dhruva Lok, which was achieved by Dhruva Maharaj just by hearing about him. The demigods also become pleased because this narration is so glorious and it is so powerful that it can counteract all the results of one's sinful actions. So, all dhanyam, yashasyam ayusham, punyam, swastyayanam, mahat. So, dhan means movable wealth and sampatti means immovable property. So, he had it all, and anybody who hears about him, he will also get it. 46th, or in the purport, Prabhupada says, whether Akam, Sarvakam or Mokshakam should all worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead to acquire their desired goals of life. So here Dhruva Maharaj apparently had some material desire, but he got purified. And anybody who hears about him will get everything in life. 46th. So that was Falashruti 1, 41. This is Falashruti 2. Anyone who hears the narration of Dhruva Maharaj and who repeatedly tries with faith and devotion to understand his pure character attains the pure devotional platform and executes pure devotional service. By such activities, one can diminish the threefold miserable conditions of material life. Last line of the purport. To become a great devotee means to finish all miserable conditions of materialistic life. The threefold miseries will go away if we hear. 47th. Anyone who hears this narration of Dhruva Maharaj acquires exalted qualities like him. And for anyone who desires greatness, prowess or influence, here is the process by which to acquire them. And for thoughtful men who want adoration, here is the proper means. This is third Falashruti. So one devotee was saying that when Kumbhakarna died, Nidra Devi became a widow. Because wife was always with the husband. The husband died, so this widowed Nidra Devi, she went to Lord Ram and requested for shelter. So then Lord Ram said, wherever people are doing prajalpa, you go there. Then Nidra Devi said, no, people are very absorbed and have a great interest in their prajalpa while speaking. So they won't sleep. So then Lord Ram said, okay, wherever Puranas, Vedas, Katha is going on, you go and stay there. Then she was very happy. So whenever Katha goes on, people tend to sleep. Because Nidra Devi has been given that place by Lord Ram. But one should overcome. If we hear Dhruva Maharaj Katha, then we will get that greatness, influence and prowess. Then 48th, 48th talks about fourth Falashruti. The great sage Maitreya recommended one should chant of the character and activities of Dhruva Maharaj both in the morning and in the evening with great attention and care in a society of Brahmins or the other twice born persons. Chakratipad says in the commentary, He says ahead. Okay. The purport says maybe 5-6 lines before the end. Unless one is twice born, one cannot understand the transcendental characteristics of the Lord and his devotees. A big technologist is no more than a big Shudra. So once Radheshyam had some boys in Utkarsha camp in Mayapur, IIT Kharagpur, he was addressing them separately also. And suddenly His Grace Bhavanand Prabhu happened to pass by. Radheshyam Prabhu said, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. These are the boys from IIT Kharagpur. So he said, IIT? What is that? He said, they are the topmost engineering colleges in India. Oh, engineers, Shudras. And he left. The boys, though they were new, only first year was over, but they knew something like Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra from ISKCON devotees only. So they were like shocked. Then Radheshyam Prabhu had to sit with them, some 1.5 hours to pacify them, how to understand this statement, how it is not a problem in a sense. You can dovetail your propensities. He flatly said, but Prabhupada said that, na? A big technologist is no more than a big Shudra. And small technologist is a small Shudra. And just a technologist is a Shudra. So, we take pleasure in being called as ingenious, but not so much glorious. Then next, 49:50. Persons who have completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord should recite this narration of Dhruva Maharaj without taking remuneration. Specifically, recitation is recommended on the full moon or dark moon day, on the day after Ekadashi, that is Dwadashi, on the appearance of the Shravan star, at the end of a particular tithi, or the occasion of Vyatipat, at the end of the month, or on Sunday, that is Arka Din. Arka means Surya, sun. Ravivar, not sun day, Sunday also, but Ravivar, or on Sunday. Such recitation should of course be performed before a favorable audience. When the recitation is performed this way, without professional motive, the reciter and audience become perfect. Prabhupada purport, professional reciters may ask money to extinguish the blazing fire within their bellies, but they cannot make any spiritual improvement or become perfect. You can underline if you want. Prabhupada is giving sarcastic remark that they feel hungry, they want money for putting food inside. So they charge for their glorification of Dhruva Katha or Bhagavad Katha. That is not the way recommended. And last lines, if done in the right way, not only does the reciter achieve perfect satisfaction, but the Lord also is very satisfied with the reciter and the audience. And thus both are liberated from material bondage simply by the process of hearing. Once, I think 2008, I was going to IIT Kharagpur and some other places. So His Grace Pitamba Chatampru was with me as my assistant for cooking, etc. So then we went to his house first in Satna in Madhya Pradesh. So then there 4 days we were there. And morning, evening I was speaking Dhruva Akhyan only in Hindi, like that. Then next we went to Patna. From Satna we went to Patna in, Patna is in Bihar, huh? So there in one devotee's house, family. So there I spoke Dhruva Katha for 2 days. Then we went to IIT Kharagpur. There again I spoke Dhruva Katha only. So I told him, then he said, Are Dhruva Katha only you are speaking? Yes, I said, yes. Like that. I said, that is good for you also. No? You have heard so many times. You can cook for me. You don't have to. Let the boys attend it. He said, okay, okay. So all throughout Dhruva Katha only. In Hindi, English. So it's very nice. It gives a tremendous boost. Our determination will increase just by glorifying Dhruva Maharaj. One devotee said about Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada took advantage of monkeys and bears. Monkeys means those who are attached to sex life, hippies. And bears, those who are attached to ignorance, sleeping a lot. Bears sleep a lot. Polar bear, he sleeps for 6 months at a stretch. So Prabhupada took advantage. So we can hear Krishna Katha from great devotees. Perfect. In the Chakravartipad says, one should not accept payment or other articles because one satisfies the self by the self. The devotee in making others hear thinks, this devotee is hearing with faith the topics of Krishna that I am reciting. That is my payment. In this way he attains perfection. I am also grateful to you all. You are extending beyond 2 o'clock. Like that. whatever the reason, I don't know what is the reason, but still, this devotee is hearing with faith the topics of Krishna that I am reciting. That is my payment. So no money should be expected. 51st. The narration of Dhruva Maharaj is sublime knowledge for the attainment of immortality. Persons unaware of the absolute truth can be led to the path of truth. Those who, out of transcendental kindness, take on the responsibility of becoming master protectors of the poor living entities automatically gain the interest and blessings of the demigods. Prabhupada says the Dina Nathas are devotees of Lord Krishna who preach the path of devotional service become the favorites of the demigods. See, demigods shower all blessing. So Dinanath, I was telling him, I think from this purport only, that your name is not Dinanath, Narayan Prabhu, Dinanath. Because Dinanath will be splitted up as Din Anath. So Narayan is not Din, nor is he Anath. He is the Nath of everything. So Dina Nath, master of all those who are fallen or whatever. So Dina Nath or Dina Bandhu. There is some, I think that Lata Mangeshkar's father or somebody's name, his name is Dinanath. Dinanath Mangeshkar Hospital is there. So his name is Dinanath. Huh? So that's why I would think but then afterwards, after reading this, I told, no, not Dinanath, Dinanath. Chakravarti writes, if making people hear knowledge which gives liberation gives such great result, making people hear about Dhruva will certainly give a greater result. So Dhruva Akhyan is much better in discussion. And last, 52nd, he says, the transcendental activities of Dhruva Maharaj are well known all over the world and they are very pure. In childhood, Dhruva Maharaj rejected all kinds of toys and playthings, left the protection of his mother and seriously took shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. My dear Vidura, I therefore conclude this narration, for I have described to you all its details. Prabhupada in purport says, it is said by Chanakya Pandit that life is certainly short for everyone. Smara nityam anityata. But if one acts properly, his reputation will remain for a generation. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is everlastingly famous, so the reputation of Lord Krishna's devotee is also everlasting. Therefore, in describing Dhruva Maharaj's activities, two specific words have been used. Vikhyata, that is in second line, very famous, and Vishuddha, transcendental, that is also in the second line only. Dhruva Maharaj living home at a tender age and taking shelter of the Supreme Person of Godhead is the forest is a unique example in this world. In Marathi there is saying, Marave pari kirti rupe urave. You should die, but you should remain in the form of fame. You should have done such nice activity throughout life that even if you are dead, people remember you for the glorious deeds that you did. And compulsory it is to die. But it is not compulsory that one will remain in the form of fame. But one should act in life in such a way, and after death also one remains. For Vaishnavas anyway it is said, he reasons ill who says Vaishnavas die, for thou art living still in sound. Vaishnavas die to live, and while living
And they are not brahmacharis, they are grihasthas. So
to do, then no problem. Just like once His Grace Shamanand Prabhu in Mumbai, he got a call from one company and said, sir, we want to have your seminar on what is that, art of mind control, whatever the topic, like that. So when could we have it? We want to know with you. He said, anytime is okay, I'm free only, like that. So you let me know. They said, okay, we'll let you know. So then what happened? They never called him only. So then some other devotees told him, Arey, you said you are free all the time. They thought You are some ordinary fellow who has nothing to do, so you just give seminars like that. So you should not say like that. You should tell, Acha, you want to have seminar? Okay, let me see. There are so many appointments in line. I will get back to you. I will tell you soon. Like that. Show as if you are very busy like that. Then they will, oh, he is very important person and quite busy schedule and all that. Hopefully he will agree, if not immediate, later, like that. So if those devotees also, for the sake of not earning money, but for the sake of earning the interest of the people, they charge, and that are grihasthas also. So if their spiritual master, who is pure devotee, if he says no problem, then it's okay. One thing is, that is just to make people serious. Like Prabhupada also said, no, don't give books free. Even for Radhana Swami Maharaj, who was a yogi, not having any money, Prabhupada did not recommend giving freely. Maharaj had to beg for 7-8 days in Bombay streets. Some money, some little bit he got, he gave, and that poor fellow, then he says, okay, then little bit I will do after office hours. And whole day is working in office only, serving some mundane boss. Isn't it? Why can't it be recommended? How many of you feel that this should be allowed? Raise your hand. Huh? Seldom people they allow. How many of you say no, it should not be allowed? And you have reason also for that. That's what. Okay, he has some first, his objection. Why it should not be allowed? No, he will not tell the cause. Give donation from your heart. You know that style, no? Foreigners. So what happens, let's say 250 rupees Bhagavad Gita. Somebody gives 200. He says, no, that doesn't even cover the cost price. Give more. So then he gives 50. He can say, possible, give more, sir. So that person, no, not more than this. So now he got exactly 250 rupees, which will be all submitted to temple. But somebody says, okay, take 100 more. So he gave 300. So 250 comes to temple and he gets 50 rupees for himself. And the cost is never known to the person because cost was never told. This is what I am doing for last 2-3 years. I am nowadays not telling the cost only. I am saying to people, this is such a, I explain what is there, no? So, sir, please give some donation from your heart, whatever you feel like, for propagation of our knowledge. So then people always, 30 rupees or 20 rupees, perfection of yoga, I carry in Hindi, Marathi, English. People give minimum, some people give 10 rupees or 20 also, but most of the people give minimum 50. Some give 100, some give 200. Few followers have given 500 rupees also. Just see. Anybody can, and they are all intelligent people. They know this book cannot be costing 500. But just because I say donation, they know ISKCON is glorious and they are doing so much welfare work and all that. So they give 500 rupees also. So he should not say cost is 300 rupees. That is not proper. He should ask for donation. Dakshina.
Dakshina is like donation. Like they are not charging the amount. Like you should give me this much money for this particular program, or performing this kirtan for this many hours. You have to. If he is making a packages, then that's. But as you said, if he's asking for donation, like whatever they like to give, then that's understood. But because
For
Brahmana,
books you are talking.
for book, I'm not talking for about this recitation of Bhagavatam or Kirtans. Books it is understood because anyway they assess the quality of book and they give accordingly they give donation. But for reciting Bhagavatam or Kirtans,
They ideally should not charge.
if they are taking as Dakshina, because Brahmanas also used to take earlier Dakshina. So if they
At the end, Dakshina is okay.
that
People
is
give.
fine. But if they charge like packages,
Yes.
then it
So
is-
then it should be asked to spiritual master. Because spiritual master is pure devotee, he will know.
because I heard that Gaur Gopal Prabhu, Gauram Prabhu, they also charge when they give seminars. But that goes directly to temple. When they're raising funds for temple, that is understood because
But then also, though it goes to temple, they should have the blessings and permission of spiritual master. They should not think, okay, anyway goes to temple. Because the spiritual master will be very mature also. He will see whether ISKCON in future should not face some difficulty. These people are also professional. They are charging money. So spiritual master, and plus the individual who is involved, whether brahmacharya or grahastha, whether his mentality is proper, all that spiritual master only can take some action on that, something he can say. Okay? So we'll end here. Parantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Dhruva Maharaj ki jai, Srila Narad Muni ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveta Gaura Bhaktaranda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanand. So thank you for your extending. Hare Krishna.
So many insights ranging from all the qualities, especially this chapter, gratitude is very much touched. Yeah.
There are so many notes there. You see that I did not cover even 10%.
Oh.
Because of lack of time. We are already more time for gratitude. So many things are there. Nothing I try to avoid seeing there. But I'll speak there.
So many practical tips and practical lessons we learn. So we express our gratitude by chanting one time Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
To appreciate him, gratitude we can express to Hare Krishna mantra. Somebody did bad, some mistakes, okay. So let us pray for him that next time he doesn't do. So let us pray once Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is for all conditions.